I believe so anyway. Fingers crossed. That's us.
Fingers crossed. My Twitter has decided my account doesn't exist.
Oh, great. Love it when that happens.
Well, let's see if the app's working.
Cool. So, yeah, I've like really forgotten what stage we're at on Vamp-aye-r, and there's
I don't
also
think we paid attention to any of it.
Oh no, not me neither. I was on autopilot the full thing. I think literally the last 20 minutes was just me doing like laps of the hospital. Ah, someone called Dire Boar just followed me. Thanks, Dire Boar. Right, let's do Twitter next. Hey, Talesian, thank you very much for the resub. That's 36 months, which is, holy shit, it's 3 whole years. And I imagine you've got the badge, the uber spectacular badge now, which is pretty cool. Which means that I'm going to have to redesign badges for the next 6-month iteration. So you've actually given me more work to do. Thanks. Hubris Incalculable, hello, Aurascala and Jackie, welcome to the stream, how we doing? I'm doing that thing where I post about the stream and trying to think of stuff to post. Joy is in the chat.
I am. I'm just arguing with my computer that I do exist on Twitter, so I can... Yeah, never mind.
The setup always takes a wee while. Hey Ali, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. I don't know why, but I feel like I've kind of devolved. I'm like typing like a old person.
One finger tapping.
It's not one. I just have to like really concentrate on my phone, being like, how do I spell again? Hey, Necrotic Pixies, otherwise known as Dead God Jess. Nice to see you. Welcome to the stream. This is your first time here. How about that rugby, Jackie? Exactly. That rugby was excellent. I caught the tail end of it at a pub in Edinburgh yesterday, and it was good vibes all round. Zypirus and Nicky Chime, welcome to the stream. Yeah, sometimes the ads run before the start of the stream, and it's yeah, always throws me off. One thing I dislike about Twitch, specifically around this time, is that like Twitch's top feed tends to be like football just chatting streamers, which is always like really annoying because I don't care about any of it. So you'll all actually be pleased to know that I've decided to take off the very loud transition from last time that attacked everyone. So I do apologise, but until OBS implements a feature that allows me to toggle the sound of the transition, I'll just hold off.
I want to be deafening us. I will be 2 seconds. I can hear my dog crying like a neglected child in the other room. I'll be right back.
Go and make sure she's alright. Favourite fictional vampire? Ooh, tough one. Tough one. Very tough one, actually. We'll get started in a couple of minutes.
Here we go.
Hey, welcome back.
She's
Is she
no
okay?
longer a neglected child. She's fine. She got left on the bed because she hasn't figured out how to go down the ramp yet.
Okay. It's always a tough time.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I struggle going down ramps and steps as well, so not really got much room to comment.
Well, I'll chuck it on just the game screen to start with. You'll all be pleased to know I've had a haircut and a beard trim, so I'm not looking as messy as I was last week. Favourite fictional vampire? I mean, don't know about you, Joy, but I'm a big fan of that Edward Cullen guy.
Yeah, he's a close second to a lot of them for me. No.
And of course, the books that were inspired by by Twilight.
Oh. Yeah, the 50 Shades of Nonsense, which would actually make more sense as a dark vampire romance, but never mind.
Love this lovely stream name. Thanks, Many Arts of M. That's we'll
just noticed that.
We'll definitely be getting into that. I'm thoroughly expecting like some folk to jump into the stream and say stuff. So I believe that mods are on standby to deal with any of that nonsense. But it's one of those deliberately and like inflammatory stream titles. You like Vampire the Masquerade's world building? I tried to play a bit of that. Probably came in at a wrong kind of point. Kind of bounced off it just because I had quite a lot of stuff going on. But it goes into mod view. Thanks, Jess. So yeah, tonight we're going to be continuing Vampire. To be honest, at this point, it's really just let's try and play the game and see how far we get. I think it kind of becomes background noise for the most part. So I suppose, Joy, how have you been this week? How's this week been for you?
If you're on my Tumblr, you've probably seen me complaining about my health a fair wee bit. But other than that, I've been okay. The biggest issue was yesterday when Gumroad decided to implode, but that's fine. We don't have to talk about that just yet. But yeah.
Well, we're at a hospital in game, so we're good to go.
Yeah, we're good to go. If anything happens, I wouldn't mind Dr. Reed being my doctor, to be honest. That's just throwing that out there.
He'd be gentle at least. Just heads up, mods. UNMC Scout is just having a laugh. It's okay. They're allowed. We're not gonna completely like ban them right away. Yeah. I mean, since it is the talk of the town, we should probably have a chat about what's going on with Gumroad. And I suppose my first question, Joy, would be, when's the Vlad and Nathan NFTs coming out?
You can go fuck yourself on that one. That's a strong never from me.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Is it just I mean, so I did catch up kind of briefly on what was happening on the old Gumroad shenanigans, and yeah, like the CEO seems to have gone a bit nuts.
He's always been a wee bit he's always been a wee bit kind of like crypto bro-ish, but it's not been too bad because Gumroad itself was always no fuck NFTs, and like it literally compares it to we don't take any sort of fake currency was kind of how they termed it. They compared it to we don't accept moon dust, why would we accept NFTs? And then one of their graphic designers who used to work with them announced that he quit because they're starting to look at implementing NFTs because it's the way of the future. And a lot of people got rightfully angry, and then Gumroad was like, "Oh, we're not doing that. We never said that." But then they won't actually commit to never doing it, and they keep doubling down on, "We'll never say never," and maybe like you can't deny the future. And then the CEO started going bonkers.
The thing is that you absolutely can deny the future. I don't know why the game's been so laggy, but I think the stream's fine at least. It's just the game having a bit of a fit, but. You absolutely can deny the future if the future's really shit. You can change things.
You can. Yeah, we don't have to use cryptocurrency.
No, in fact, it'd be better if we all didn't.
I am strongly against it because part of the reason I've been so stressed lately, and some people know this if you're on my blog, my husband's work got ransomwared again, and it's crypto people. And it's they, you know,
Really?
they demand, yeah,
Jeez.
they pay all the ransoms in Bitcoin,
Ah, that's yeah.
and it kind of, if you're on the fence about it, you don't know what it's like to have an entire business that is responsible for people's life, like 200, 300 people's livelihoods could possibly go under because it's been attacked by a ransomware, and they're demanding payment in crypto for massive amounts, and you're going, this is just a nightmare. But even then, you just have to look at the people that are supporting it to go, not really a fan.
I think that's the thing that kind of gets me is the fact like crypto folks seem to be all about the community, but the community's all fucking horrible. So why would you ever want to? Why would you ever want to engage with any of them?
Yeah, it's bizarre. Like, I had people saying to me, oh, you're going to turn your book into an NFT, and I'm going, do you know how big that file would be? But also, no, it's a book. Like,
Yeah.
why? You can just download the digital file and view it. You can own it that way. You can own it for $4.99. I don't understand. I do not understand.
It's yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, it's bonkers. It's really, really bonkers. I mean, there's the whole movement for like, oh, artists should definitely be doing this. And I'm going, or you can just buy prints.
I think that's one thing where like the whole thing around like, oh, we're helping digital artists, like, finally get paid, is that there's no shortage of artists out there that are like more than happy to take money off you if you want to pay them. And of course, the thing with DeviantArt's been like, it's been absolutely massive. Is like people who are like on DeviantArt. DeviantArt actually introduced a feature that scans popular NFT markets and flags to the user if art that's similar to their DeviantArt profile appears on any of them. And it's just like so many people are like stealing people's art and then minting it as NFTs. And of course that was a big thing in the community. And then what was happening was you had the crypto bros come out and say, well, if artists really wanted to get ahead of the game, they would mint their art first before someone else does. And it's like, what? What the fuck? Why? That's just theft.
It's such a bad take. It really is such a bad take.
I know. I tried to pay artists. I know. I'm a total bastard like that.
They're also the same crowd. Yeah.
Sorry, go on, Joy.
I was gonna say they're also just the same crowd that they don't care if they pirate from small users. Like,
yeah.
It's the exact same people. Like, it's the people who tell me all the time, you're lucky that I pirated your book because that, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to read it. And I'm going, how does that make me lucky? Go to the library.
Yeah. Go and ask your library to get it. Oh,
or
shit.
you can ask me. Authors are happy to do advanced, we do copies that we'll give away for reviews. That's a thing that we do as well. But no, the answer is theft. And then they don't just steal it, they put it online for other people to steal, and you're like, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was only a couple of 100 hours of labour went into that.
Literally 5 years of my life.
Sorry, that'll be thousands then.
Yes, yeah. Nike is suing a company for digitally rendering their shoes and selling NFT. How?
But,
Nike.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like, kind of props to Nike for doing that. Like, so they're suing a company that decided to create NFTs of shoes. Is that correct? I understand that, right?
Yeah.
See, that's what I like to see. There was one that I put on Tumblr. There was like one NFT thing, which was, to me, just it captures how dumb NFTs are. But they were selling NFTs of Olive Garden, and
the restaurant.
Yeah, the restaurant, with the idea that people who purchased into the Olive Garden NFTs got the rights to own a digital franchise of an Olive Garden, but in the terms and conditions, it wasn't related to Olive Garden at all. It wasn't affiliated with it. It wasn't a physical Olive Garden that people were buying into. It was just a bit of a mess, really. But yeah, that was when like the first kind of NFT thing I saw that was like, this is really dumb, really dumb.
What happened? Who are you?
It's
Cadigan,
quiet, sir.
Cadigan, what a name.
You're safe now.
A fellow Englishman. Thank you, sir. For a moment, I thought those bloody heathens had killed me.
What are you doing here? This place is not safe.
I get the feeling this guy isn't a big fan of immigration.
I'm saying if we're gonna eat someone.
I was like, a fellow Englishman, thank God, rather than those fucking heathens. I said, fucking savages. Jesus. I mean, I get that there was flesh-eating vampires outside, but yeah, he uses that language out.
About it.
He definitely uses that language out with, doesn't he? Oh, he's got a cold. That's minging. Okay, so we saved him, means we can eat him later and we'll get some more experience for it. So we'll do that.
Who can read this?
Sorry, there's tons and tons of stuff coming through on chat. And I've realised that the moment chat gets busy, I should probably stick it to slow mode. But Lily Anthem, thank you very much for your follow. Wine Dancer, thank you very much for your follow. Valhallan and Kashiro, thank you for the subs. Azuri, thank you for the follow. And That Queer Weirdo, thank you for the follow as well. I love seeing people's names on stream, it's so good. Cool, we've cleared out this bit now. But yeah, I mean, for me, the way that crypto folk are really trying to go at the moment is there's a thing that's known as network effects, and a lot of you have probably heard of it, but maybe not have heard it like conceptualized. But network effects are essentially, I'm going to use an example of a telephone, right? So when one person has a telephone, it's pretty much fucking useless because you can't phone anyone because no one else has a telephone. But the more and more people that have telephones, the more people you can phone. So it like gives a kind of net benefit to the user the more people use it. And that's something that crypto people are really trying to push for at the moment, is they're like desperate to get to this critical mass, but they're miles off it because crypto isn't really scalable at all. It's it's
Nobody wants to use it apart from them.
yeah, well, nobody wants to use it, but it just can't work. It's like not scalable enough to work. Like I was arguing with some idiot on Tumblr, as you do. They were basically saying that in the conversation, I was basically explaining to them that if you start a transaction in Bitcoin, the value of the transaction might have actually changed by the time it transacts to the person. So you might have agreed, as I'm going to send you like, I don't know, 2 Bitcoin, right? And it might have been when you started sending it, that was, just for an example, 20 quid. And then the currency could fluctuate in the state of that transaction, and you could soon find yourself, you've actually transferred 2,000. So no one's gonna use that. No one wants no one wants to have that as a kind of losing out on money by the currency fluctuating so much. My blog attracts fools. I mean, yeah. half of you watching this fucking stream. Anyone who's trying to get you into crypto isn't doing it because he thinks it's going to be the hot new thing, just because he's hoping to get you. Yeah, I mean, people are doing it purely to try and cash out. Like, that is very much the only way to go. Oh man, I forgot that combat in this game is just mental, isn't it? Like,
A wee bit brutal, yeah.
also, is this supposed to be 1918? I suppose there were, like, kind of machine gun things, but...
It is, yeah.
Oh, I just got... Oh, fucking
Makes you
hell.
wonder how many of these soldiers came back from World War One and just took their machine guns home with them.
Yeah.
A lot of the civilians are just armed.
Yeah. Also, what sort, like, was there a pistol in World War One that was a rapid-fire 3-shot thing? I struggle to believe that. Also, these enemies always have the worst kind of, like, just the lock-on. The lock-on's just mental. Hey, Ebony Heartneck. Welcome to the stream. This is your first time here. Yeah, I mean, the machine guns back then were like heavy bits of kit. There was a couple, but I don't think they were super mainstream. What an effort this is, man. Every fight's a struggle. How many soldiers came back from World War One with vampirism? Probably more than you think.
That's kind of what you're finding out about the game. That's the you're going through and you're like, oh, all these people that get sent back home and they're very ill and very, you know, not very human looking anymore. It's like a vampire trudging through peanut butter. You're not wrong, Randa.
Join the Royal Fleet today. Not just today. Today. Oh. So, yeah, I mean, of course, this is also mixed in with the plague, so basically everyone's really, like, highly paranoid. To be fair, as you would be. Oh, there's another guy. So, one thing I like about the weapons that I have at the moment, so I'm using a used hacksaw and what I think is called a Liston knife, yeah. Which is pretty gritty. But those are my two weapons. I tried to play this two-handed the first time I played it, and it was a joke. It was a disaster. Oh, sorry, Jess. That's terrible.
Am I dying or undying? Yes. Frequently ask myself that on a daily basis.
Oh. I'm getting bullied by all these angry London men. Oh, what's going on? Why can't I move? Right, you're dead. There was some... So... I've just realised that cursor's on the screen is really annoying. So, what was I going to say? Obviously, the other kind of horrible news this week was... I'm not sure if anyone saw the revolting Jimmy Carr clip. Has anyone seen that?
I've heard of it, but I've not actually watched it because I refuse to watch Jimmy Carr.
it's awful and doesn't really bear repeating. To be honest, I'm not gonna say it, but he basically made a horrible genocide joke about the Roma during the Holocaust.
The travelling community.
And it was not good. And the thing that kind of annoys me about it a bit more is that, like, so I don't know how folk know maybe about Captain Tom. Does anyone here know Captain Tom at the start of the pandemic? It's a big thing in the UK. This, like, old veteran guy was walking up and down his garden to raise money for the NHS, which was a very odd and divisive thing because the NHS is already paid for through taxes and it's the government that underfunds it, so we shouldn't have old veterans having to walk out. And when I say old veterans, I mean like World War II veteran.
He was in his 90s, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was old. It wasn't like, you know, a recent thing. And basically, what happened was a guy got arrested for like making a joke about his death, basically. And it was crude, it was offensive, but the whole thing was like the only good British soldiers are dead one. Of that kind of level of patter, right? And he got fucking arrested and has been found guilty of being grossly a grossly offensive online communication is what he got charged under, right? Meanwhile, your Jimmy Carr is able to go and fucking incite violence, get a 6-figure salary from a Netflix special, and is like, I'm not saying that either joke is particularly good. I just find it very odd that, like, you know, folk get away with it if they get a Netflix special.
Yeah, it's very much a double standard because Jimmy Carr gets to hide behind his career.
Yeah.
He gets to hide behind his career as a professional comedian. Well, of course he's going to say these things. He's a comedian. Why does our comedy have to revolve around that? It doesn't.
Yeah, I think there's also this weird, like, there's this weird group of comedians, I would say, and I would say there's like, the good comedians are the ones that actually don't talk too much about comedy as an industry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the ones that are always like, oh, well, we're supposed to be offensive because it helps to challenge your mind and the dark thoughts inside your own head, and like that kind of grandstanding shit. And it's funny how I was watching quite a good interview with Frankie Boyle, who Frankie Boyle back when was pretty bad.
Yeah,
but
he was
like
a bad boy.
But like, since then he's done almost a total 180.
I actually have a really nice story about him.
Really? Go on.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Well, it was actually through my dad. So my dad had a colleague he worked with, and her son was big on homeless charities. He was actually one of the people that ran one of Glasgow's biggest homeless charities. He looked after people. He made sure
nice.
people were fed. He got them accommodation and everything else. And he happened to be friends with Frankie Boyle. And Frankie was eventually looking for new management, and he asked this guy who has no experience in comedy management to do it for him. And his reasoning was he wanted to be kinder with the things he was doing.
Oh, nice.
So Frankie Boyle actually did a kind of a very much a 180 from his kind of comedy needs to be offensive to be relevant, and he switched completely to kind of a more, I mean, he still says a couple of questionable things every now and then, but it's still, he's more rooted in, well, how do we give money to this charity? How do we do this? How do we do that? And he actively employed someone who is one of the most charitable people I've ever met in my life. So it was a nice wee story about him that I learned from my dad. Just in passing, he was like, oh yeah, it was, I can't remember, it was Sharon's son or somebody was, oh yeah, he's Frankie Boyle's new manager. And I'm going, that's a wee bit of a turnaround.
Yeah.
Like, does he have any experience with managing comedy? No, not any at all, but he just wanted his good character. He wanted his guidance. And I'm going, oh, well, that's actually quite nice. So, yeah, it's hashtag growth.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are comedians who I think do grow up, and I think they get over their edgelord phase, but there's some of them who just, it's a crutch.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just another update on the stream side. Ms. Madame Mim, thank you very much for the subscription, and Necrotic Pixies, thanks very much for the follow. On the Frankie Boyle side, if any of you are interested, you should really watch his new kind of series, which is called New World Order. It's available on YouTube, and it's really well done, actually, because it is just about, like, he talks about stuff that's happened during the week, and he invites, you know, a really good diverse group of people on to talk about these things, and it's a mixture of comedians. It's sometimes it's like sometimes like lawyers or like, you know, expert specialisty type people to talk about very specific things, and the whole show is all about punching up, and it's really, really good. But it kind of speaks to one of the interview that I was watching with Frankie Boyle, and he was being interviewed about his comedy, and he was talking about how, like, you know, he got really bored when he was on Mock the Week, and he used to be like absolutely outrageous on Mock the Week. Like, people would go, like, you know,
People would write in and complain.
Oh yeah, folk would complain about him, but he was saying it got so fucking boring because, like, he was saying that the BBC basically told them the topic that they had to joke about, and it eventually became like they had to cover, like, Britain was involved in 2 land wars, like, you know, the invasion of Iraq and like Afghanistan and all the rest of it, but they were being asked to, like, crack jokes about like a golf tournament that was on that weekend, and he was like, it got to the point where I was asked like 3 weeks in a row to talk about what was happening at this golf tournament. I was just like, this is the most boring shit. He was like, I like, you know, didn't have any more time for it, because it was like he was being like, he couldn't speak meaningfully about anything, even though you know. And it was why there was a bit the one of the ones that he got the most complaints about was a joke that he made about Rebecca Adlington, who was an Olympic swimmer, and like he got kicked off Mock the Week for it, I'm pretty sure, but he just kind of lost interest in actually doing it for that long, because he said that, you know, journalism and the media just isn't like, doesn't push the boundaries anymore, which I thought was quite interesting.
But there's also, it wasn't even he was trying to be edgy with it. It was more just, I think it was just sheer frustration about being so heavily censored.
Yeah.
We can't talk about what's happening in our news. That's not very good. I mean, the BBC's not got a great history with that either.
Yeah, BBC's not got great history, full stop.
True.
So that was actually something I wanted to ask you, Joy. And I was having quite an intense political conversation yesterday, because I went axe throwing with a couple of my friends, and like a lot of them are kind of staffers for MSPs and stuff like that. So naturally, that was going to be a political conversation, and we got to kind of talking about, you know, the independence campaign. And I was like, great topic, you know, I've got a lot to say about that. So I suppose, when did you start kind of supporting independence? Was it already a kind of like subliminal thing before the referendum came about, or?
It was always a feature in our household.
Cool.
I forget how young I was when the devolution happened and we got our own parliament. I think I honestly can't. Time has no meaning to me anymore. But I remember my dad being very much for that. I remember having the flags up in the window for devolution. So we've always been a very politically aware family, and we've always been very pro having control over your own country and having just there was a lot of it in my childhood growing up, and then as the older I got, the more I was kind of watching how Westminster handles things, and I'm going, well, they don't really care about anything north. So say they don't even. I don't even think they really care about the north of England, to be honest.
Nah.
No. So in our household, it was always, my mother's very passive. She's very much kind of, you know, if it had, you know, at one point I think she thought it was a bad idea, and then Brexit happened, and now she's, oh my god, absolutely,
this is the worst.
Get us out of here. Get us out of here. Go back into the European Union.
Get us to fuck.
Yeah. But my dad's always been very pro-independence, and that was kind of, it wasn't drilled into my head. We were always told you could think your own thoughts, and I think in my early 20s, when I was still at uni and everything else, it was very much a kind of, well, the more you learn about it, the more you're kind of going, well, Westminster's not really doing much for us, and it's, yeah, there's parts of it that there's some of the, you know, the chest banging. There's some people that are very kind of hateful with it, which I don't like. But there's more to recommend it to me than to stay, especially with the way things have gone recently.
No, that's cool. 'Cause, I mean, I suppose, were you already in America by the indie ref? Or
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I had literally just come over for we were still in our apartment, so yes, it would have been the first year that I moved over here, and I still voted. I still maintain my votership in the UK.
Yeah.
And I actually had to change everything because they've been sending things to my mother for the longest time, and eventually I had to like sign in and be like, hey, I live over here now, but I still want to do this thing, and I had to update all that, and that took forever. But I managed to get it done in time for Brexit the last time, and I was able to put in my this is fucking stupid vote, and but it's still, I still try to be active in politics because it's my home, and I hope that we'll be able to go home one day. The only reason we're really here is because the UK changed the immigration law 6 weeks before our wedding, and Mothman couldn't come live with us anymore. So my
bastards.
whole life changed. My whole life changed 6 weeks before my wedding, which is exactly what you want.
An
You're
exciting
planning a
start to a married life.
Yeah, you're planning. You've got 30, 40 odd Americans coming over for a wedding, and all of a sudden, all your plans are falling through with the rest of your life. Fantastic. But
Yeah, you made it work.
We did. We have made it work. We have made it work. But it was one of those things where we had to switch everything completely to, well, I guess I'm immigrating to America then.
Ah, man, that's...
And we had to be
Jesus.
separate for the first year we were married because we had to wait on visas and everything else as well. We had to wait, basically. We were separated for the first year we were together. And when I moved over here, they asked us why we did that, and I'm going, because of immigration restrictions.
Yeah. Why'd we do that? Out of sheer fucking necessity, sadly.
Basically.
Yeah, Jesus.
If I move, will I take Demon Rose with me? No, because I don't want to bring an invasive species into the UK. That's why I'm even hesitant to pass her around to other parts of the US, because she is designed to survive in Minnesota. I don't want her to go somewhere down south and destroy an ecosystem, because I think she would. Potted house rose, perhaps, yes, but they don't let you take clippings into the UK, so there'd be some serious smuggling involved. And I've already got a hard enough time bringing in all my medication, so that's doesn't have much to recommend it. Demon Rose Kudzo 2.0, yes.
You want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
Smuggling Demon Rose would be in keeping with her character, though. What would be in keeping is that I open my windows one day in Scotland and Demon Rose is outside. Not that I brought her, that she just manifested.
Just in the garden looking up at you.
Where did you go? Come back. She's been very creepy at the moment. She's all thorns and bare vines at the moment, and you can hear her. We've got very, very thin single glass 1940s window panes in our front room, because of course we do. And every now and then you hear little kind of tap, tap, tap noises and scritching noises, and you're going, what is that? And you look out and it's the rose bush just clawing against the glass, leaving marks against it. So that's delightful. I love that. She is my plant familiar.
Yes, Guy, I imagine immigration laws are still aren't friendly, and with Priti Patel as Home Secretary, they'll remain pretty unfriendly. Oh, that texture on her clothes is not yet popped in. That's a mess.
It's very shiny.
Yeah. Oh, what is up with that? To be fair, I'm not sure if the textures in this game at all are that nice looking, but don't think texture was the focus.
Very middle of the road solid game.
Yeah. Don't really need to see high definition bite marks in someone's neck. I'll save that for the other videos I watch.
I don't know if anyone can hear Holly, but she's whining up a storm.
No, I can't hear her at all.
You being neglected? Your parents not paying attention to you 100% of the time. Mm-hmm.
There was Jessica was putting some bleach in the bathroom, and Aoife really likes chemicals. Aoife's thing is chemicals. That's the only way to really describe what she's into. She likes chemicals, so she was like pure cuddle rolling, like in a wee ball, and like trying to get as much kind of bleach on her. Bleach scent, by the way, not actual bleach, because that's terrible. But yeah, it was pretty odd. Oh, I'm getting attacked by these guys. Because one of the things, like, you know, speaking about obviously trans stuff in the UK, Scotland has. Well, one of the Scottish kind of advisory boards has recommended that conversion therapy be banned as soon as possible, which is a nice thing to see. But I was actually like speaking to my friends yesterday about like the GRA and stuff, and it's amazing how like, unfortunately, it seems like there was almost two paths for a lot of, like, I'd say kind of like, I don't want to say middle-aged, but yeah, middle-aged people post-referendum, because there was a lot of people who had never really been politically engaged before during the referendum, and then there was this, like, immediate, like, there was a massive surge in people getting involved politically, leafleting, being at stalls, doing all that good stuff, right? Like going to town halls and doing big speeches and marching and campaigning, and like all of that is great, right? All of it's like all good, kind of, because what happened after the referendum was that everyone kind of found a natural home in the SNP, the kind of the most pro-independent party, as the kind of main priority. There was a few people who joined the Greens, but what in the fuck is going on, man? There was a few folk who joined the Greens, but the majority of people who were very, very pro-independence joined the SNP. And what kind of happened there is like this kind of middle-aged demographic had gotten so used to campaigning during the referendum that they didn't really have an idea how like a political party worked. Like because the Yes campaign was like such a civic movement, like you could be an independent supporter and be completely non-party affiliated, and I think that's what, like, when it got to them joining a political party and being part of something, suddenly it's like they didn't know how to act, because like they moved from being just like an independent supporter to being like an affiliate of an organisation, and there's kind of rules that you need to follow to a certain degree, and a lot of them didn't like those rules, and like eventually they kind of like, it's why a lot of folk have like split off from the SNP and went to Alba, because like they're allowed to be their true selves in Alba, which really they got so bored at lack of movement on independence they latched on to another movement, which is basically anti-trans bullshit. So that's unfortunately the kind of rise of transphobia in Scotland is down to kind of bored middle-aged people who were impatient about waiting for another referendum, but had to be doing something. Like, I mean, like, for want of a better term, we kind of moved into like peacetime politics post-referendum, because you've actually got to get back to governing the country, whereas some folk just don't get it. There's another werewolf over there. Yeesh. Too many werewolves. But I think it is quite an interesting thing. Like, I mean, there'll be fucking studies about this, I dare say, in years to come, but like the impact of the referendum was in some regard very, very good, but in others not so good, because it kind of opened the door to, unfortunately, a lot of the shit that we're seeing now. But I also think that's partly the case of just being in the UK anyway. We probably would have had that normally.
I mean, there's a reason it gets called TERF Island over here.
Yeah.
And the fact that the US is making fun of somebody else for being anti-trans is saying something. It's really just, it's not a proud moment if people are asking you, oh, what about the politics back home?
No, we don't talk about politics back home.
No, we don't want. Yeah. Depends who you're talking to, mind you. But there's some people who are like, oh, look at this, but this validates my beliefs, and I'm going, well, that's a very, unfortunately, loud group of people, but they're not who I
would hang about
like.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's.
Oh fucking hell!
Yeah.
Sorry, died.
No, it's. I was watching it happen. That's why I couldn't think of anything. I was too invested in the werewolf. But yeah, some people are like, "Oh well, look at what's happening in the UK. That surely you must agree with that too." And it's like, absolutely not. It's just it's
I like how you become the arbiter for your like entire country's politics.
Oh, I know.
Which is sometimes fine. Like, I mean, I think when I've been abroad, Do you regard yourself as being abroad? Actually, that's a good. I mean, yeah, I suppose you would.
Kind of, because I don't have citizenship yet. I'm just a resident. But even then, a resident gives me. I'm not just here. I have a business here. I have a home here, and so it's more of a. I have two homes now. One of them is my husband's, and then there's mine.
That's fair.
That's just the way we view it. But it's not really. I'm abroad. Like my mother doesn't refer to it as my daughter's abroad. It's my daughter's immigrated, and that's what she. Whenever someone says, "Well, how's your daughter doing abroad?" She goes, "Well, she's not." And I'm going, "It's basically the same thing, but to my mother, it's a very different distinction because abroad applies you're on holiday."
Yeah, I would kind of say that as well. Like, I mean, there's obviously times where I've stayed in another country for like a lot longer than would be a holiday, but I'd still kind of regard myself as being abroad. But that's mainly because I was working or studying, so.
I think it's the difference if you're temporary versus if you've set up a life.
No, that's very fair.
We've unfortunately sunk everything we had into the hell house, and then say unfortunately, I do love my house, but it's but there's a lot of things that we're looking at our future and we're kind of going. I think I prefer to move. That's kind of we're at that point where we don't really.
House is haunted. We're leaving.
House is haunted, yeah. Well, that's the thing we're talking about for the for sale sign that we can put up. We can say probably not haunted, but definitely asbestos and mold free, because we've done the work for the last two. The first part not so much.
Thanks for the follow, Runaway. It's good though. You're making the house welcome to other people down the line.
Yes. I'm waiting for Joy to post a Call of Cthulhu. That's actually my favourite tabletop game. So who knows? We might make a map for it one day.
Is that not a game as well? Like they made it into a video game?
I think so, yeah.
I can imagine the video game is not that good, but
a lot of the Cthulhu ones aren't, unfortunately.
Yeah. Because it's really hard to capture that vibe. Ah, jeez, oh man. Like, these guys are just... what they like.
I do remember them being OP.
It's weird because I don't think I'm doing anything... like, I've not really killed anyone yet, but at the same time, I feel like I've not been playing it on super hard mode, and yet, here we are. I think the hitboxes for enemies are pretty bad in this. Because they get that absurd lock on. I mean, that's... a lot of my health was just taken off. So I'm trying to remember what's actually the plot in this being is that... do the vampires and the werewolves not get on in this? They don't get on normally, but...
they do not, no.
Unless
but then
when
also,
they fancy
there's
each other,
vampires who
but...
don't get on with other vampires in this game as well, so...
yeah.
It's very much a class divide metaphor for a lot of things.
Oh, that reminds me, actually. So you know how last time we were talking about your love of Frostpunk?
Yes.
So I've been going down a bit of a hole, to be honest. So I've been playing through Frostpunk recently, but that's also seemed to have spread out into other forms of media that I'm consuming. So I started watching Snowpiercer, which if you haven't seen, Joy, I think would be right up your alley. Have you seen it?
It's been on my to-do list. I keep telling myself I'm going to sit down and watch it. So
I've just finished the first season, which was very good. But I get a good feeling that you would enjoy it a lot.
Quite probably.
But yeah, so every bit of media that I'm consuming at the moment is about the world becoming frozen over and people really struggling to survive. Something that we will be doing next April. So good preparation for everyone. Have I watched the movie, Sky? No, I haven't. I've not seen the movie. I have it on good authority that it's not like a sequel prequel thing. It's just like a reboot. So The TV show's really good. I'm hoping to catch up with the movie at some point. But I'm not sure. So what would you prefer, Joy, if you had the option between doing a Frostpunk with a big generator or being stuck on a train that has to keep moving, otherwise everyone will freeze and die?
See, I get motion sickness, so that would not be good for me. I'd prefer the generator that you have your own me life.
Holy
Hopefully
shit,
you get-
Mothman. What have you done?
Oh, he did the thing. Yes,
Yeah,
there we go.
The thing. So I'm struggling to read them all, but the Icelander, Puny Humans, Call a Cab for Me, Southern Orchid. Sorry, I can't see the other names because it just gave me a big wall of text. But thank you very much for gifting those subs, Mothman.
Old Spain, Crash, Burn Main, Levi C99, Rainbow My Window, Crafty Cryptid, Pun Queen TV, Southern Orchid.
They're all popping up now.
Yeah.
Fair. No, thanks very much. Guys, I hope you enjoy your remotes. You'll be able to use them all now. So have a blast with them. Craftiest Cryptid, welcome to the stream. I've noticed that's your first time chat. Thanks very much. Call a Cab for Me as well. Welcome to the stream. And now you can spam emotes to your heart's content. You can also suggest more emotes if you want. The one with me holding a lightsaber is because I did dress up as Obi-Wan for a stream. I've probably done it for a couple of streams now, actually. I've done... It's a really good costume. It was one of those costumes that, like... You know when you buy, a Halloween costume and you're like, this is going to come and it's going to be, like, shitty. Like, it's definitely not, like, cool cosplay level. It's, like... It's going to be, like, the thinnest bits of fabric. So I had no expectations for it whatsoever. It arrives, and it's full-on fucking Jedi robes, man. It was the best purchase, to the point where every other plan for Halloween has been ruined, because I'll never get anything better. What's been so costume-wise for you, Joy? Do you do Halloween? Do you dress up occasionally? Do you dress up normally? I don't know.
To me, I mean, the joke is to me that Halloween's every day of the year for me, so that's kind of my, I've got my infamous Morticia dress posts on Tumblr, and I've got a bunch of other stuff as well, but I'm generally always kind of a wee bit dressed up in the gothic style, shall we say.
Pretty cool.
But I haven't really done any sort of, like, costume dress up in maybe 5-6 years, but that's been purely health related, because I never go anywhere.
That's fair.
So that's kind of my... As soon as I lost the ability to go out partying and anything else, it was just kind of like, well, never mind. But I do dress up for myself. I do nice things for myself. Whether some people would call it a costume or not, I don't know.
Well, fair enough. I was just wondering if you've got like a stormtrooper costume somewhere in your house, you know.
No, I do have a big witch's robe, which
That's
actually my mother made it for me when I was 12, and I haven't grown since, so it still fits me.
Sorry, I finally killed that werewolf. That was me cheating. Success. Nice. Cool. We're done with this area. This totally optional area.
For... Who's asking for this?
How do you turn off animated emotes?
You go into chat options, the wee cog at the bottom, and then you can go to chat appearance, and then you can turn off emote animations.
That is a really, really good feature.
Please take a browse of my wares.
I'm Dr. Reed.
No, I know it exists because with my migraines, moving emojis or anything like that, they can trigger a migraine attack for me. So that was, as much as I love your vibrating cat, I had to turn it off the first time it happened.
No, that's absolutely fine. No, thanks for telling everyone that feature. I didn't know that existed, actually. So it's amazing.
If there's an accessibility feature, I've probably already looked at it. So.
Like I'm glad that like there's accessibility features that are being so like tailored. Like you can get to that level of like accessibility.
You can turn off readable colors as well if you're someone who struggles with colors. And And
That's
yeah,
cool.
there's the you can I like that you can make it as big or as small as you want kind of thing, which I find helpful because I struggle to read things a lot on screens. But that was one of when I went looking for that a while ago because it wasn't just you. There was another person I followed. They have one that's like a wavy rainbow one. That's not a good time for anyone that has visual problems. So, how does my accent get received in America? It generally doesn't because I generally have a telephone voice that I use because otherwise you get people that are being either, oh, I really can't understand what you're saying, and you know you're speaking clearly and you know you're being understood. The person just wants you to keep saying words, or you get the person that wants to tell you about their great ancestor twice removed who was so and so Scottish, and therefore they're more Scottish than you. So I tend not to not to do it too often.
Just
it does
avoid it the best you can.
Yeah.
It is something that I find quite interesting is that like I think both of us get progressively more Scottish when we're on these streams. But like I think like I'll never forget. I'm not sure if I said this last time. Did I talk about my sister being in America last time on stream?
I don't think you did.
Oh my god, it was the worst, right? So my sister lived in California for a bit. She was part of a kind of American theatre acting group that did quite a lot of work with like schools, and you know they would do a lot of the kind of musical theatre stuff, but they'd also do kind of like teaching people confidence and that kind of thing as well. And they toured the world as well, but she was there like training for a bit, and of course she was in California, and she came back with the most annoying fucking accent that just it sounded just so put on. And you know she was like, I think my dad went out to visit her, and she had to translate for my dad in like in coffee shops and stuff because no one could understand my dad. Nobody.
Same with my dad. My mother's a wee bit better, but my dad's got a very, very thick Govan accent.
Yeah. Lost
very,
cause.
very, yeah. And it's even with Mothman, it's like if we're FaceTiming and my dad's rattling away and everything else, and he's talking to Mothman and everything else, he just kind of nods. He just kind of
Yeah.
and then he looks at me, and you can hear my mother in the background going, "Oh, he doesn't understand you." But my dad is, whenever he's been over here, it's been a case of, I mean, somebody thought he was Dutch at one point, and I'm going, how did you get Dutch from that? But
amazing.
Yeah.
For my dad was trying to order a latte or a latte, and the poor lassie behind the counter in Starbucks was just didn't know what to do with herself. Like she was just looking at my sister, and my sister was like, a latte? And then the barista was like, oh, a latte, oh, a latte, yeah, no problem. It's like, oh, okay. Didn't know it was that difficult, but yeah. It's interesting though, because obviously, like, I think they kind of vaguely hear some of the English, and then it's like...
The accent throws them, because when Mothman and I were still dating, we'd go to nice restaurants and things, and no matter what country we're in, there'd be the moment of culture shock where one of us would open our mouth. Like if we were over here, I generally let him order first because I could never make up my mind.
Yeah.
And and they don't take it down his order just fine, you know. Blah, blah, blah. And then it would get to me, and this not as broad Scots accent would come out, and you could see they'd just pause, and you could see their brain break for a second as they look at you and they go, "Sorry, what was that?"
they have to like re-register.
Yeah, because it's not what they're expecting. And then it was the same in the UK. Like I would typically order first over there just because, and then he'd open his mouth and you could see the person going, I know it's an American accent, but it doesn't sound like TV American. Because TV American's that very kind of broad, whatever accent, whereas Mothman's from Minnesota, so you have that wee bit of, I think what a lot of people would think of as Canadian accent. But to me, the Canadian and the Minnesotan accent are different, but I've been here for 10 years now. But you could always see the look on people's faces when they had to register. I know that's English, but the accent's not right.
Yeah, it's weird how people always need to have that couple of seconds of just need to like realign their brain and their thinking.
Yeah, and there's also someone pointed out there's also like audio processing issues, which I have audio processing. I have double audio processing issues because I have damage in one left ear, and then I also have ADHD, which means I have audio processing can happen a lot with ADHD and some things, and there's times when people will be talking to me and I can't hear them because there's too much background noise. So when people do the whole I can't understand you, I do try to be not as kind of, it's not the microaggression I think it is. It can just be genuinely the person can't understand you for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But there are some people, like I've definitely experienced microaggressions because of my accent, which we've talked about before. But I do try to be kinder with some people since I have learned that, because I didn't know I had audio processing issues. I thought I was just bad at listening. And then I got diagnosed, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you actually your brain does not, the sound doesn't make sense in your brain." I'm going, "Well, how confusing would that be for someone?" And you hear the English language, but it's not how you expect it to be. So I try to be kinder with it. I do try to not immediately jump to, because with my dad it's immediately, oh, they're just not trying, or oh, they're just being blah blah blah, and I'm going, well, maybe the person's struggling a wee bit. So I do try to be kinder with it. But there's I can understand why some people just jump immediately to why is this such a because it does happen online as well, like with Scottish Twitter. There's a big thing with people going, oh, I can't understand this, oh, I can't read that, and it's like, well. There are parts of it where you do get fed up with it.
That was something that cropped up on Tumblr this week, where someone was saying, there's a lot of people on the Scottish banter pages on like Facebook and stuff, where they'll comment and be like, "Don't understand a thing in here, but here for the jokes, haha." And it's like, you can just like it and not comment. That's also an option, Like, it's just fine. Find Clayton. Who is Clayton?
There's also the issue with some people who are like, oh, I can't read this, it doesn't make sense. That's because it's not actually written in Scots, it's just written gibberish. Like, that's part of, there's some people who genuinely just don't write in Scots and it makes no sense. It doesn't make sense to us either.
We're gonna circle back round to the fucking Pokemon trainer.
Oh, I know. No, it's
Every stream!
Because of Nurse Joy, I get tagged in so much stuff to do with Pokemon, and I genuinely, I will never play a Pokemon game because of it.
Yeah.
So
it's just like that was such a time on Tumblr. It's funny though. There's like a lot of Scottish posts on Tumblr that go weirdly. I don't want to say viral because it kind of makes me ill, but like when you get like a shit ton of notes on a post like that one about the kilts, or the kind of not very kilts that the Proud Boys were wearing, that just annoyed me. Especially when you had so many folk like equating the Proud Boys with Scotland, and it's like, these guys just went online, bought a, I'm gonna hefty quotation marks, kilt, and then suddenly we're to blame for Proud Boys racism. How does that work? Obviously, there's a lot of influence.
And there's a lot of cultural appropriation within these types of spaces, and it goes all the way back to the KKK, which used Scottish mythology and heritage to justify their actions. And that's a big part of American culture, unfortunately. With something like that's one of the reasons when someone gets really excited to talk to me about their Scottish heritage, I brace myself for whatever's going to come out their mouth. Sometimes it's just genuinely they're excited to meet another Scottish person because it's something they're interested in. Sometimes they're looking for validation of their beliefs, and I'm going, I have to be like, no, actually, there's a plaque in Ayr apologising for the KKK because the founder of the KKK was from Ayr.
Yeah.
We're not proud of that. We're not
nobody's
proud of
that.
that. No. It's also like as Sky says, with the alt-right and the Nordic stuff.
Yeah, it's a shame that was hijacked so badly. But I feel like it's had that kind of reverse effect, because I did see someone online who was saying that folk who write the Norwegian letter that looks like an O with a line through it. And it was like literally in this guy's name, and they were like saying that he was dog whistling like Nazis because he was using that O. And it's like, it's literally my fucking name. I can't change it. So it does have this weird weird impact in the kind of reverse. And I think that happens a lot on Tumblr as well. It's just that like, because the internet is so American focused and very like through the eyes of the American lens. I mean, sometimes I get a wee bit annoyed when I'm like talking on like a post about like British politics, and there's always someone that does the like, I'll interpret for the Americans on the post, and they'll always like reblog it and do like a side thing for the Americans. It's like kind of, it's a weird one. I feel like there's a bit of an American cultural cringe actually that doesn't get talked about that much, mainly because everyone's too busy hating. But like, I do think there is a bit of that.
Yeah, there is. There's definitely that kind of yeah, it's a funny one where they need to adopt everything into their viewpoint. They can't just read the information as presented. It has to be, I don't know, internalized in some way, and it has to be through an American lens. And I'm going, well, that actually isn't relevant to what we're actually talking about sometimes. I wish some Americans had a bit more cultural cringe. Yeah.
But like, I know, I think like, don't get me wrong. For the Americans that are watching this stream, I'm not having a go. But I find it interesting that, you know, not a lot of Americans either use or like have a passport, because obviously you live in such a massive country where you could, it's a wee bit like Minecraft. You can kind of like visit any biome you like. If you want desert, you can go there. If you want like mountains and snow, you can go there, and like all that sort of shit. But like, I think sometimes people are acutely aware of how like the non-traveling Americans, like folk who haven't traveled outside of America, they're quite anxious about how they're perceived for having not done that. But I think it also doesn't help that when you do get certain Americans who are very well travelled, they seem to have to, like, they almost take these kind of, oh, I'll interpret on behalf of the American people, so the people who don't travel as much fucking, you know, understand, because they don't know what living in Europe's like.
Yeah, there's definitely that kind of, I think it honestly comes from a place of shame, to be honest. I think there's some people who do
Our top priority must be to put
they do travel and they do see things, and I do think they get their eyes opened quite a bit. And I think it can go so far in the opposite direction that they become an authority on something that they're actually not an authority on.
Yeah.
Which I think is part of it as well. The Jack Skellington approach to sharing culture, that is exactly it, thank you. But yeah, I mean, for my wedding, there was maybe only 3 or 4 people who didn't need to get a passport to come to our wedding in Mothman's side of the family. So that was a lot of people getting their first international stamp for our wedding, you know. And he.
I mean, if you're gonna have a first international trip, it might as well be a big one, you know.
Yeah, but even before, because we dated online for a long time, and Mothman got a passport because of me, because we were dating, and he wanted to come see me. That was his reason for getting one. Otherwise, he didn't have one. And to me, that was just bonkers, because like in my experiences for traveling as a child, you needed a passport if you were going to France or Spain or Germany or whatever.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a very different kind of. You're right. It is like Minecraft, where you in the UK, if you want to visit a different sort of place, you have to travel. You know, you have to have a passport. Whereas in the US, you can basically go from one end of the US and never see the same thing twice.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
a man named Darius.
I mean, like, I think one thing that's always really stood well is like Europeans in particular have a really hard time like understanding how big America is, and I think the reverse is that like a lot of people in the US don't understand how like old like Europe is, because I think like some like from the couple of Americans that I've spoken to where this has come up in conversation, like saying, "Oh, like someone died in this house," is literally par for the fucking course. Like pretty much anywhere in Scotland, of course, someone probably fucking died in this house.
It was a really funny thing with when his family were over for our wedding. They did a lot of the ghost tours.
Yes.
And they were freaking out over how many dead people there were, and I'm going, yes, that is how. That's how time works. that's how this works. And then they talk about all these haunted houses here. A family died here, and I'm going, right, well, great, but probably about 20 people died in my family's house before we moved in.
Exactly.
You know, it's a very weird. It's because they're, you know, it's such a young. It is such a young.
It's a
country.
young country, yeah.
Yeah. From from a certain perspective, but it's also like they talk about, well, you know, it's a very. They were talking about, oh, this is the oldest building. It's 100 years old, and I'm going, right, 100 years old. That's ancient.
Wow.
That must be the. And they pull them down because 100 years is old, and I'm like, I can't wrap my head around that. But it's just a difference of how things are. Like, I mean, literally, Edinburgh is built on top of old Edinburgh. That's how they dealt with it. They just built on top of the old city because it was easier. So you can walk underneath. You can actually go under its.
Yeah, you can go into the. Fuck,
is it
what's
Queen
it called?
Mary's Close?
Yeah, I think there's also.
Queen Mary's Close.
There's also an entrance by the Tron, I think. The Tron Kirk in the Royal Mile.
But you can go under it and you can see the old city. You can actually walk through the old cobble streets and everything. And we did the ghost tours down there, and that was great. That was fantastic. Yeah. Apart from Mothman being a. You know, every time the poor tour guy was going, some people predict having visions of fire in here, and Mothman's going, is it because there's a giant fireplace in the corner? Some people would have a dark hovering presence, that'll be the damp patch up there. You know, it's just, you know, complete killjoy.
I was going to say, it reminds me of the house back home.
But yeah, but you do get people that are more freaked out by older things in this country. And it's very funny to me, like, and I can, being in this house is only 70 years old, and if that's the state of their 70-year-old houses, I fully understand you'd be freaked out. If everyone's dealing with this, I understand. But it's, you know, yeah, it comes from being a very young nation, I think, in that sense. Like, it's a very kind of, the culture's not, I don't know. It's different. It's a very different, you know, things that they think of as being ancient that I'm kind of going, right, so that's a blip then in terms of the history that I grew up with for my own country.
I'm a poet, sir. May I
Mothman's house renovation experience has made me immune to ghosts. At this point, ghosts would be easier to deal with. You know,
you can at least recruit them to help out a little bit.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks. I am skipping all this text, just because I feel like, I mean, this is a kind of open world game, and it's not something that, like, I don't normally stream a lot of open world games because normally I'm, you know, streaming for a couple of hours a time, and if I was ever a full-time streamer, it wouldn't be an issue, and I would painstakingly read all of the text. But I feel like there's so much going on, and we're just chatting anyway. That it's like, you really just want to see me bite someone is what we're aiming for here, right? That's what the people want.
That's what I'm here for.
I know, I'm working on it, I promise. It's fucking, the story does take a bit, and then I imagine you just get into like a point where you can harvest people.
Yeah, it does. But depending on how you're playing it, it does, yeah. And you're not even that far along in the story narrative. Like, there's a whole.
Good evening.
I know that there's quite a big there's a big choice coming soon.
Yes.
And I'm trying to remember what the right one is, so feel free to just yell it. But like, this is a kind of like not so much a don't backseat on stream. This is a just feel free to shout out answers. Who's this? Oh, this is the person that can't talk. Oh no, this is the person who can talk.
I'm not looking for what you're selling.
Christina is interested in some fun. I don't judge you for that fun. Okay, cool. We're just, yeah. We just we need to get to actually progressing the story a wee bit, and then we can go daft. I quite like the guy's coat though. John Reed is a classy dresser.
He is.
Don't think I'd be able to pull it off though. Well,
Your paperback arrived. I'm glad to hear it.
Mr. Petrescu.
There's been serious delays with weather and just supply shortages and all sorts of stuff from a publishing standpoint. Everyone's like, "Oh, I ordered my book at this time." I'm going, I have no control over it. You'd have to contact the printer.
No worries, guys. See you in a bit. Sorry, what was the poll that was going on in chat?
Who was cooler, Jess or you?
Oh, and 75% of you fuckers went for Jessica. Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'm used to this anyway. Right, so we're now going to speak to Dorothy. Dorothy is the nurse, and we need to make sure we do something here, otherwise we totally fuck up the rest of the game.
Yes.
Next independence results also going to be 75% yes. Okay, so we've got all these people. All of these people aren't really important. I need to go and see. Oh, someone's thirsty. But not thirsty in that way.
What do
Okay.
we have here, nurse?
Patient Raz Van Vasily, high fever running on 3 days. Complaints of dizziness, muscle aches, head pain, diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Influenza, what a bastard.
Liquids for dehydration, but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Thank you, nurse. Anything else I should know?
He did lose consciousness this morning, but he's never had convulsions like these.
I can't remember what I did for this.
He's not convulsing, he's choking. He's not getting any air. Skull! Hand me that skull!
What can I do, Doctor?
I must perform a tracheostomy. Sure.
Great thing when you're a vampire.
Need to perform a tracheostomy. Short pipe. That rubber tube
I was
will
like,
do.
already started the surgery and he's like, I think I'll need to perform a tracheostomy. But you're going to have to now. You just cut the guy's neck open.
Coughing up blood.
Internal hemorrhaging. I need to make another incision into the chest cavity to drain the fluids from the lung. Prepare another tube.
A thoracostomy. Doctor, we've nothing to fight the infection. We need an aseptic environment.
What would you suggest?
Right there.
Always trust the nurse.
What do you
Yeah.
suggest?
Except
I've no
when
idea.
you
I'm
don't
not a
trust the
doctor.
nurse because they're
Time is of the
terrible.
essence. We need
But
to
always trust the
perform
nurse.
a thoracic drain.
Yes, Doctor.
A lot of nurses have way more skill than the doctors because they're dealing with it on a day-to-day. Actually,
Well,
none,
that's it.
none of this is
Yeah.
legal advice
He's still bleeding, Doctor.
or any advice.
I'm losing his
Or
blood.
medical advice.
Or
I
medical
always
advice.
find if you get a nurse to do your IV lines, you'll have a better time. Where people that ask doctors to do an IV line, you realise they haven't done an IV since they were doing they were doing their
I can't see.
initial start in medicine, because the nurses do it. You're always better off getting a nurse to do your IV.
I must suture the artery.
I must first suture the artery.
Is he like going into like sort of bloodlust here or?
Yes, yeah.
Hate it
You
when
can
that
see his
happens.
teeth growing.
Doctor,
I like how calm the nurse is.
Holding.
It's just like, oh yeah, your teeth just grew a lot.
we've lost his pulse. He's dying, Doctor.
Epinephrine, fuck it. Cardiac massage just sounds a bit
Yes,
light.
Doctor.
I think I just killed him. Can you save him?
No,
Oh, okay. That's...
because he's not dying from influenza. Spoilers.
We've lost the pulse.
Remember that.
He's
Remember
gone,
what?
Doctor.
We did everything we could.
Truly?
My veins didn't keep
Everything you could.
collapsing. They just
Is that how
couldn't
your report is
fucking
in your log?
stab
Is
the
this how the war
line
went?
in.
Piling up one poor corpse
I
beside
got
the
stabbed
next?
14 times with them trying to find a fucking thing. It ended up going through like the top bit of my thumb. That was that's what they finally found that way in to get a fucking
Indistinguishable
vein.
from the epidemic.
No.
I don't think it was because I was
had-
dehydrated. It was
Vials
just
in these reactions.
I was
Something
desperate for
primitive.
There
morphine.
have been numerous reports of mental
I needed a
breakdowns
lot of
caused by
morphine.
the fever that accompanies the fluid self, Doctor.
Yes, but I'd best take some samples of the blood for analysis.
Some samples. He's preparing his wine tasting for later on. So I'm trying to remember what the choice is here. There is a choice that you need to do.
Yeah, there's one that saves her and one that condemns her, and I don't remember which one it is, otherwise I'd help you.
Yeah. Because
How might I be of service, Dr. Reed?
I'm trying to think, do you come to stop the blackmail but you let her carry on?
I think so.
Because yeah, I mean I think you can just eat her here. Eat her. That's maybe not the right term, but
But you can also hypnotize her to make her stop doing what she's doing, but then she just becomes like a an empty shell.
yeah.
You don't
So
want to. You want to
you
avoid
don't want
that
to do
one.
that. You don't want to eat her either. So I've come to stop the
Yeah.
blackmail.
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me?
Why not trust Dr. Swansea? I mean, okay, the blackmail must stop.
She's
Like, all that's just filler, which we're kind of glossing over quite liberally here.
Sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications. But all the same, blackmail is a crime.
Guy's beard's on point, to be honest.
so.
To the point where it's like, it's not like my beard, which is disappointing. I wish my beard was a bit more like his beard. His beard's just like straight down. So yeah, it's not charm, it's not embrace, but it is spare. Because
It's
charm,
spare, yeah.
charm,
turns it into a shell.
yeah, which to be honest, I think is really cheeky because like that there is, like that's the unlocked option. Is if you did everything right, you get that option, but it's still not the good option.
I would say to eat her, but everyone's saying eat, but if you eat her, you screw yourself over for later in the narrative.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm gonna spare her for now. Because there are people that we can still go back and eat.
Your place is here. Jailing you would be an even greater crime.
Aye, beard extensions when. I don't know, like, I got my beard trimmed, but, well, like, I see more tidied than trimmed. Because the idea is I'm going to try and get it a wee bit longer, I think.
And provide me with medical supplies when the need arises.
It's weird, I kind of go through, like, peaks and troughs, because,
Just a privileged
like,
client.
on one hand, you know, playing a lot of God of War, really want, like, a big, like, Kratos beard. But then sometimes I'm like, I want to go clean shaven, knowing that clean shaven would be a terrible idea. I don't think Jessica would speak to me if I did clean shaven, to be honest.
We have
And to be honest, she'd be entirely within her right mind to do that. Just
good customers are always
sleeping in a
welcome.
different bed
Yes,
until it grew back in.
We have a deal.
Cool. Right, so we spared her. However, we are now like... What the fuck? Oh, these guys broke in. This one's a tough. Yeah, sure.
You can tell by the sweet jacket.
Hey, look at that jacket. This guy looks well cool. He's a tough. Kill him.
It annoys me if you actually do treat the patients downstairs and then those guys come in and kill them. That always annoys me.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I can imagine there probably was, like, militia type gangs going about London after the war, like, thinking they were, like, you know, these were actually the people who were, like, attacking all the anti-maskers. Maybe that's what it was. I do always find it funny when, like, it's always... Here's a question for you, Joy, that leads on to what I'm going to be saying. But if there was a point in time that you could travel back to, when would it be? There's a good question. And a question for the chat as well. Because I always find it really telling when it's like, yeah, I'd love to go back to, like, 1918. Why? Why would you want to go back then? Big flu.
Can I go forward?
Just
that would be my brain.
Fucking some point in the future.
Yeah, just any time beyond what we're currently dealing with. I don't know. I mean, my...
We'll say vacation as opposed to...
Vacation as opposed to staying there for long term.
You don't need to, like, outlander it.
Thank God for that. I don't know, to be honest. It's not something I've never really wanted to go back in time. I've never wanted to live or see things that we haven't had. But if I could do like a bird's eye kind of view, I probably wouldn't mind having a look at the Victorian era and the Edwardian era, just so I can kind of, because I do like the fashion aesthetic of it. A lot of my favourite historical novels are set during these time periods. But I also tend to prefer the science fiction version of them rather than the reality of it. So,
yeah.
I don't know. That's an interesting one. Mothman, future, please, yes.
Future, please. Seems to be on everyone's list.
1960s to get the clothes and come back. That would be my... I would like to go get some nice vintage 50s pieces to round out my collection, and then I'd just come straight back. Good. Screw everything else. Screw everything else about the 50s. I just want the petticoat and the clothes that are built for my style of body. That's what I want. 1850, I'd go back and make a very important chemistry discovery.
What specific chemistry discovery? I'm just curious, UNMC. Just a vintage clothing tour of the past, back in time for dinner. Time travel vacation 1980s, buy a bunch of old computers for your retro collection. Nice. Every single important chemistry discovery attributed to UNMC Scout. That's fair. That was actually a topic of conversation yesterday, that if you could go back, what's the one item you would take to change a historical event? And a lot of it was like, you can't bring back anything that isn't sustainable in the past, so the only thing you can really bring back is knowledge of how the event went and try and change it.
Excuse me, sir.
Because, like, sure, you could, like, bring a gun, but, like, the gun runs out of bullets eventually, so it's not sustainable if you were to go back permanently. Do you enjoy bullying people? Okay.
Oh, I forgot about this guy.
What? Do you enjoy bullying people, you bastard?
Most people don't become thugs.
I take some dubstep to different time periods and see the reactions.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would
You'd be...
Look on modern... Yeah.
You'd be like in Back to the Future, and it's like your grandkids, your great grandkids are gonna love it.
Can I offer that?
Or not love it.
Can I offer that?
Look on modern medical techniques would probably be what I would do, just because there's so much that we now know about. I mean, even in the last couple of months, the amount of progress we've made is astounding. But can you imagine how much farther we'd be ahead if they had, even as far back as 1980, if they had some of the stuff they had now, how much farther ahead we'd be?
Massively. Like, a scarily ahead. I think that's also, like, a lot of people's perceptions about, like, obviously, like, we're talking about time travel, Back to the Future is going to come up, but, like, Back to the Future 2, when there's, like, a hoverboard in 2016, and I'm always fascinated by, like, old predictions of what the future was going to be like. Because there's this really kind of like famous older one where it's it's like how people would walk on water, and it's like people with like balloons attached to them, and they'd get to like walk on water. It's pretty funny, but that's like early 1900s vision of what the year 2000s would look like, which is kind of cool. Right, we're gonna have some.
The obligatory shoot Hitler, yes. That too.
Yeah. Right, what can we sell? What can we sell that's good to sell? Small bottles that are not good to sell. We've got enough rings. We've got 3 rings. We don't need rings for anything.
No, you
Large-
need the bottles for making cures though.
Yeah, cigarette case you can sell. You can recycle. You can recycle all of these actually. A watch. Don't really need a watch, do I? Cheap gin. Alcohol's always good on the. Alcohol is always good. Full stop. And it's also good for medicine, I suppose. And then there's I need all that stuff for cures. Okay, we'll see if we can buy some more stuff.
Something, sir?
You never lose your focus. Right then.
Right, what are we going for? We are going for a common... Nah, we're not going to get a common trigger part. We're going to get common handle parts. Boom. I don't know if we've got anything to actually upgrade stuff, but well, at least we're kind of like on our way. You basically want to upgrade your weapons as soon as possible in this game because it just gets progressively harder. You'd love to party with Nero. Of course. I don't know, there's like... I feel like it's always nice to be able to talk about these things, but it depends on like where you draw the line. If you were able to like understand people, like you could go like all the way back to like ancient Egypt. That might be quite cool unless you're a slave,
Like
in
if
which
you
case it would not be quite cool.
Yeah. Like if you had a TARDIS translator where you could talk to everybody.
Yeah, exactly. That's doable, you know, but I'd be a wee bit anxious about some of the other stuff. It's always good to just get like a couple of cures, eh? Need some more potassium pomegranate or whatever that's called. We'll break down the pill. Oh yes, there's opium. Nice.
Because that would be the thing like the whole Outlander thing, which is obviously a big phenomenon.
Oh yeah.
I have no doubts that I would be burned at the stake immediately.
Yeah.
That would be me gone.
I think that's my main worry about traveling back in time is just how fucking dumb some of the people would be. It'd be like annoyingly like completely rational these days, but like yeah, I feel I'd get annoyed. I'd be like, I'm gonna end up dead because you guys aren't gonna believe what I'm trying to tell you. That's how it would go, guaranteed.
Wouldn't you like kill everyone because you're immune to all sorts in the art? That's also a point,
Yeah. But see, that's again though, that's like where do you draw the line on time travel though? Because like take back the common cold and I don't know, ruin everyone.
Go bone Alexander the Great. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, fuck it, why not? Time to bring COVID to the past. Oh dear. Okay.
I mean, it's just a type of coronavirus, which is what the common cold is.
Bring COVID-19 to like influenza infected London in the 1980s.
End of civilization.
Vampirism, influenza, fucking COVID. Worst holiday ever. I'm guessing, Joy, that vampires can't really catch, like, do they have, obviously there's maybe vampire-specific ailments, but is there, like, I guess they don't really care too much about the cold.
In which, do you mean in general mythology, or do you mean my world?
General mythology and your world. I've not finished your book, so you can tell me if Vlad gets like a cold, you're gonna have to like hold off on the spoilers there. I'm still working on it, but
in general, they don't get sick, but they can be plague carriers, if I remember. Which is a thing that I've integrated into a lot of Hunger Pang stuff, where it's, well, the undead are a perfect biochemical warfare weapon because they don't suffer from the illness, but they can pass it on, basically. But I do, in my world, I do give the vampires things that they can suffer from, but it tends to be like Lady Marguerite, for example. It's canon that she has the vampiric version of POTS. So that's when you're the thing that I have, where your heart goes a wee bit funny and your blood doesn't stay. Your blood volume basically doesn't stay where it's supposed to. It sinks into your legs and it causes all sorts of fun symptoms. And I've given that to a lot of the vampires because they have a blood disorder. They have vein problems. Vlad gets migraines. I've not made them immune to everything because I think that's kind of boring, to be honest. I like my monster. I like my monsters to have their humanity to some level.
How many fucking enemies are on screen? Sorry, I'm concentrating really hard right now.
I know, it's fine. I'm watching you as well, going.
There's just so many of them. Like, what the fuck? And it's two bosses as well, Toby and Vincent.
It's the two brothers that come back from the front, and they're big guys, they're big fellas.
Well, one of them's just a kind of standard punter enemy, and then there's the big lads. But yeah, they're so fucking annoying.
A vampire with haemophilia, that would suck.
Oh god. Isn't that a disease that quite a lot of the royal family have?
Yes. They do indeed. Imagine a vampire that feels queasy about blood. That's just Vlad. That's my vampire who's just like, but he's also a doctor. He's not queasy at the sight of it. He's queasy at the thought of drinking it, and that's just purely from a moral standpoint. So.
I was gonna say, is there anyone in the stream that's not got a copy of Joy's book yet? Because you should.
I'm waiting for Mothman to go, me.
Probably recite it by heart.
Probably. Worst historical figure to be a vampire in terms of spreading terror and terrible ideas. Rasputin.
You say that as if he wasn't.
I know. But can you imagine, like, actually, if he was still around, you'd just, not having it. You'd be trying to stake him and he'd just be coming back.
Constantly. Oh, come on, come on. Jesus. I feel like I'm doing a lot of kiting here, but it's just because, like, the enemies all really, really suck.
His modern day cult would probably be, yoga.
Yeah, I could see that. Right, fuck you, Toby, you're dead. Fuck Toby in particular.
Scientology was, yeah. He'd be big on Scientology, I think, the kind of beliefs behind that.
Would he be a crypto bro?
Yes.
I mean, if we're going to talk about people being bloodsuckers, it's probably not the nicest thing to say. Oh, come on! Do these guys just call in constant reinforcements? Because if so,
Until you kill the big guy, yeah.
Oh, fucking hell. I do like that you run into, like, high-pitched folk as well. High-pitched enemies. Die, vermin! You've got crush the leeches, boys. And then you've got the wee squeaky guys. Oh, come on. See, this is what I definitely need to start, like, remembering to level up whenever I get back to, like, a bed, because I total...
You're very outmatched here.
Yeah, it's like, I think all of these guys, I mean, he's a level 14, so he's insane. That guy's nearly dead, so I'll kill him. There we go. And bam. Oh, come on. I like how they can stagger me to their heart's content, but I can't stagger them at all. Probably because of the level thing, but... Come on. Haha. Used truncheon. What did he use it for? Ugh. Boom. Okay. Everybody is dead. I think.
I think you've got everyone, yeah.
But I've still got boss music going on, which makes me think that there's something wrong. Also, is all I got from that a fucking used truncheon? Because that's shit. That's not even a weapon that I would use.
Good news, the vampire hunters are gender diverse.
I've not encountered a gender diverse hunter yet. All of them have been men, I think. Right, let's see where we're at. Yes, I can now get the good hacksaw, not to be mistaken for the common hacksaw. Get in, that's not bad. Hey, it's Kristen. Thank you very much for the follow, and apologies to Amity Roses, who followed 45 minutes ago, and I don't think I shouted out, so apologies there. So, increase damage by 20% or get blood points. I feel like I'm getting enough blood points from my other stabby listing knife that I don't really need. I kind of want to increase my damage output as much as possible. I need good handle parts now. Ugh. What about this? Need tiny common handle part. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to rest in bed and I'm going to try and level up a little bit. Because I've not done it in a while. It's probably worth getting the next round of claws because it allows me to hit more.
The claws are a good one.
I think claws are my favourite. I don't normally bother with blood spear or shadow mist. Although blood spear does sound a bit fun, but
The bite one's good too, because then you can I think you can get more blood if you upgrade the bite.
yeah. So it's one of the things I think I've not done recently because I don't use stun a lot, and I think stun unlocks the bites. I should probably get blood barrier actually as well, because then I can absorb hits. Like if it allows me to absorb like one hit, I might be able to like block a werewolf bite or something. Physical prowess. Might as well increase my stamina because I'm always running out. Nice. Oh, no. There we go.
Thank you, by the way, to the people that are buying the book on PayHip. Hunger Pangs. That's very appreciated. I've just noticed the correlation between the stream starting and a bunch of sales popping up on my screen.
That's exactly what we're after. And feel free to drop the link there.
I will.
This is really annoying because I want to hear what Joy says, but all I can hear is I echoing. Well, feel free to shut the door. I know that the cats would probably get really annoyed, but... Right, so who am I? I've not spoken to that guy. I'm trying to think. So Clay Cox is... There's all these locked hints. That's a bit annoying. I think you do find all this like much later in the game. But there you go, folks, in the chat just now. Joy, if you might want to regale everyone again with the story of why PayHip is now an option. But yeah,
PayHip's now an option because Gumroad CEO is a twat. Basically.
Yep.
He went off yesterday with a whole bunch of NFT stuff and refusing to say that he won't use NFTs, and then also threatening people by saying, oh, I've been checking your email against so-and-so, so I know for a fact that you use our services. And then he actually lied about it because the people he was saying that did use it actually had never had an account. So that's another aspect of it as well.
Horrendous.
Yes, but I'm using PayHip at the moment. I may branch out to more independent platforms. There's a chance PayHip might kick me off because of the adult moments that happen in the book, but we'll hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
Yes.
Also, Amity Rose, Clay Cox better go with silicon or glass. Yes. I wouldn't use clay.
It's locked, all right.
Wait,
They
why?
used to.
Yes.
They also used to use porcelain, and yeah, there's.
Oh.
I know so much about old sex toys. It's a whole thing. I did a lot of health and safety stuff for the publisher I worked for with regards to kink and sex toys, and the amount of things that I had to learn was horrific for like historical accuracy. I'm like, I don't really want to be here, but okay. A malachite one, yeah.
Just prefer one of the big dragon ones myself.
The dragon one, very safe material, the dragon ones, not so much with the porous ones.
One that's shaped like a tentacle.
How can you refuse to listen? I tried to warn you for so long.
A lot of the glazes contain heavy metals and stuff you don't want to eat. You also do not want to absorb them into your body through other porous membranes.
What? Sorry, our Scala. What to get Aye for his birthday? Directly above, you've got the Ko-Fi. That's all I need, right? Okay, I don't want... like, this is why I don't have a P.O. box. Why can't I move? I can't move now. Excellent, thanks game. And I have to go to mouse and keyboard. Thanks. Why is my controller stopped working? Have I bitten someone? I'm fucking love to, but the game's not for... what is going on? My controller's still on, it's still plugged in. Oh, we're back. Cool. Have I bitten someone yet? Well, I was kind of hoping to, but the problem is that it's really hard to max out the XP on the individual. So, I've found like a couple of... I don't know how far people are along. I need to try and cure some people, just so they don't, like... It's funny how it lowers their blood quality. I kind of like that as a mechanic in your vampire game. If you're making a vampire game in the future, if the person's unwell, they're not going to be tasting as good. I suppose that kind of makes sense. Right, my boy.
You bite into someone who's anemic.
Yeah.
How are you?
How are you? I'm okay. You don't sound it.
Need any help?
You do not sound it.
Hunger Pangs video game when we've actually this is just purely us wishful thinking, but we've talked about trying to do a sort of dating simulator with it before, which I think
Yes!
is quite popular.
I'd play it.
So-
I'd stream it. I would. I'd go to town on that.
But yeah, neither of us have the skill for that, and currently don't have the money to fund it, so it's kind of one of those things where I'd be approaching people going cap in hand, kind of going, would you fancy working on this?
Hey, look, if KFC can fucking create a dating sim, then I think Hunger Pangs needs one.
That's true.
At least to bring balance to the universe or something like that. Because, yeah, I mean, I think that's... I don't want to go into a slightly grimmer topic now, but I think that's one of the things I find really annoying about, like, kind of there's so so little funding available for people who do have genuine like passion projects and stuff. They're like, and it's really hard for people to spend a lot of the time getting their expertise like, you know, absolutely on track. That it's like you kind of need to rely on people's passion, as bad as it is, but like you would have to organize people willing to like, you know, willing to, you know, spend the time. And I think that's always quite a difficult ask. Who is unknown there? Is that someone here? Is this like when you walk in on a vampire?
Walk in on an intimate moment.
Look how angry she is!
Your eyes, sir. Or did you not know it was rude to stare?
I knew it.
Speak up, Dr. Reed. I like a man who speaks his mind.
It doesn't sound like you do. Compassion only hides your appetite.
Hiding your true appetites behind a facade of compassion.
Right.
Bravo.
This is so.
Very
That's
clever indeed.
this is a really good example of something annoying that I find a lot of games do, and it's that gradual shift away from like the old kind of text RPG games. But don't shorten a sentence to "so the accusation was true" if the character's going to say a completely different sentence that, like, in a completely different way like it's so hard to convey that meaning. And I'm thinking back when I was playing old RPGs like Knights of the Old Republic or something like that. You always got to see, even Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, you got to see the full bit of text, and like you got
You know what
to
you were saying.
you got to impart your own like wisdom into to a certain degree, like how you would see it because it was your character. And then recently, I don't mind the guy being voiced at all because I am embodying this different person. You know, this is Dr. Reed. It's not like an Eye for Scotland character like I would play if I was doing New Vegas. But it is odd. Like, we are vampires after all.
We live by leeching the blood from weaker prey. We are Darwin's next chapter, his cynical and perhaps ultimate expression.
See how I would have said that? I was like, we are vampires after all. I thought that was going to be a tongue-in-cheek line about, like, oh, I've just walked in and you snacking. Like, but no.
Anyway, I have concluded my inquiry.
Interesting.
I see.
I must confess I have not put an end.
I'm so disappointed in you.
Lady Ashbury, you
See, now that
yourself
you've mentioned
admitted
Star Wars, all I can think about
I
is the
believe
fact that they're remaking The Old Republic.
I am so
waiting.
nervous for that.
very
It's going to be Old Republic NFTs.
Oh god. Hi, Holly.
Why?
Are
Not
you...
man ignoring you.
Have you played Knights of the Old Republic? Are you...
It's one of my favourite games, yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh my god, we could just talk about that now.
We could.
This is now a Knights of the Old Republic stream.
When I
But what a game. I have played that game through at least 30 times. I think I've always done the exact same thing in it, but I love it.
Every now and then.
Yeah, I actually also I played the second one first because I got it free with something, and then I went back
Okay.
and played the first one. So
What one did you prefer? This is a divisive question.
I preferred the second one, but I think it's because it was my first.
Yeah.
must quickly
I think-
I think that's what it was.
It was much better written and had an enemy that was a bit more a bit more three-dimensional, I'd say. But like I've just got something about the first one, and to be honest, I think the first game there's like going around all the planets as well, and like the variety in the planets. Like, do you have a favourite planet from the first game?
What was the
you
the
can
underwater one in the
the
first?
Manan.
Yeah, I
one-
liked I loved the aesthetic of the underwater world one. I thought that was
Yeah.
fantastic.
It was so creepy. It was like they absolutely nailed it. But see on this kind of on the surface of the underwater one, this has my favourite piece of music in the game. Like the theme for the Manan theme is lovely.
It is. I used to listen to all of them as well. That was I'm the person that doesn't really listen to music as such. I listen to The Amazing Devil, and then I also listen to game soundtracks, and that's basically, and occasionally the greatest hits of Queen. That's kind of it. But yeah, it's mostly game music I listen to because it vibes with my brain so much when I'm trying to.
That's pretty much what like my when I'm thinking of moving due to recent controversy, but it takes a bit of time to do so. But my Spotify Wrapped is always just your favourite genre was gaming soundtracks. You listened to the Halo soundtrack 4 million times. Like tons of stuff. I mean, recently I got the Mass Effect trilogy on vinyl, which is just amazing. Like it's really nice purple vinyl records. But
That's nice.
being able to listen to like really nice kind of like sci-fi space exploration music, it just makes my brain quite happy, I think. Tell Edgar Swansea he's up here, isn't he?
Holly, what are you doing? What are you doing? I think she wants up on the couch, but she's also waiting for me. Do you want to come up? Want to go up? There you go, good girl.
Yeah, so
She's so polite.
always nice when cats, dogs, pets do their
I mean, she's a
do their
she's a
thing.
cat. She's a cat dog.
Cat dog. What was the deleted message by Eco the Geek? Was it just was that an NFT thing? Oh yeah, so me and Jessica mashed our 2 years in review together, and it created like this abomination of a playlist. Because I think Jessica's music taste is very like refined, whereas mine is like, oh, I much prefer this like weird remix cover of like a song as opposed to the original.
What makes you say that?
I analysed the bloods.
I see.
This disease spread.
This is very...
Yeah, there's a... What am
Okay, so we're
I will... Yeah,
I'm...
attend Mary's funeral. There we go. Oh wait, are we about to fight Mary?
You might be. In which case, you're seriously underpowered.
Oh no. This is like the sweatiest fucking...
Time to go eat some people real fast and then take a lot of naps.
Yeah.
Good evening.
I was just thinking actually, is that there doesn't seem to be anyone that I can really eat except the Clay Cox guy, but even he isn't, like he's not ripe enough. If that's definitely.
You've got to bring your humans have got to be ripe before you eat them.
I want to make them as ripe as possible so I get the maximum XP. So, okay, so reach the Stonebridge Cemetery. That's not too far. Oh, a cat has entered the room. When I say entered the room, the cat's... I'm gonna... Hold on. He doesn't. Okay, well, shove him in front of the camera. Because he likes to hang out. Haha. This is exactly what you're here for. This is how you pay your rent. He pays his rent by being interesting on camera. He's very tired. Ah, baby. I think for a vampire game, this game has a surprising lack of stealth.
It does.
I feel like a vampire would be slightly stealthier. Doesn't need to be massively stealthy, but like enough that...
Yeah, his shadow ability, I think you can upgrade it, but it's very towards the end, I think, if I remember.
And I think even then, is it not more like... Ah, man. So I have a big problem with games who don't have any sort of collision damage. Like, that guy is firing crossbows through his pal and killing me, which shouldn't really be a thing. Also... Ah, there we go. He's fine, he's dead. He's dead now, it's all good. Oh, we've got another one. Again, I'm encountering like level 16s without actually being able to harvest anyone yet, which is a bit odd. And dodge, stab.
I think I need to take Holly out. I'll be right back. Try not to die.
That's okay, I'll try my best. Cool, so we're all good on that front. Again, folks, I feel like lots of us aren't here for this game in particular. There are streams that I have where I focus a wee bit more on the gameplay. This is just me aimlessly running about and, of course, enjoying chatting to Joy. But from other games that we're playing at the moment, just to give you a wee bit of a flavour, we're playing a game called Blasphemous at the moment, which is it's a 2D platformer, and it's got a lot of very religious themes to it. It's all kind of like very heavy kind of Catholic imagery and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. And we're also playing The Forest. And The Forest is a terrifying fucking nightmare that everyone laughs at me because I'm bad at it. But it's horrifying. And I'm looking forward to continuing that on Wednesday. It'll be a shit show, but it'll be a good shit show, you know?
My dear sister. I don't know if I have the strength.
Oh my god, what is the frame rate on this game? Oh, somebody's asking for help. Okay. Oh, come on. Who are you? What do you want? I mean, at the moment I'm trying to save you, so you could at least appreciate it. Oh, come on. So the blood shield is this. Oh, no it's not. Why isn't that all working? There we go. Okay, so that's better. Oh my god, it takes 30 seconds to reload. That's garbage. There we go. I do indeed now know how Molotovs work. So the trick, if you're wanting to throw a Molotov, is you light it first. If you don't light it first,
I don't know.
pet the cat or kidnap the cat. You can't kidnap Phelan, you're not allowed.
I am.
You'll kidnap Phelan over my dead body.
This man's far too old to be Samuel.
Oh my god.
No. By the look of his clothes, this man's a docker.
What a scene to come back to.
Yeah, we were just admiring the guy's
Handiwork.
grisly death. Yeah, I think I think we are heading towards fighting your sister, which is, of course, a really, really hard boss fight for anyone who's never seen or played this game before. It is exceptionally difficult, and I think it's like, to be honest, I think if you're gonna quit playing this game, it's probably around Mary. Would you say, Joy?
I would. I rage quit so many times at this point. And then I always come back because I can't leave anything unfinished.
Celiosa89, thank you very much for the follow. Lovely to see you. Feel free to say hi to the chat. Also, and Joy, you can answer this as well, we haven't done a what did you last have for a meal. So everyone in chat and everyone who's watching, what was the last thing you ate? Obviously, Joy, you are probably just done with lunch. I don't know.
Yeah,
what
I
time
had
it is.
potato scone and scrambled egg. That was my lunch.
That's
so
amazing.
yeah,
Yeah, that's great. Everyone
found
else...
that you can use masa harina to make pretty cracking potato scones instead of wheat, which is nice because I don't like any of the gluten-free alternatives. So this one was this is the one gluten-free alternative that I do like, and it tastes like the real thing, so it's good.
Excellent. Can I ask, what is is it Chipotle? Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it like a takeaway thing, or is it not a spice or like a pepper or something?
It is, but it's also a restaurant. It's also like a fast food type deal, so you can sit in or you can do takeaway.
Okay, cool. So what do they serve?
Mexican food for most of it, and then it's
from is it like, is it Taco Bell kind of level, or is it better than that?
It's better than I was gonna say it's not Taco Bell because Taco Bell's American Mexican. That makes sense, because I feel like Chipotle is a little bit more authentic, maybe. So
cool. And I saw I saw someone write
in about 10 years.
I saw someone write a lumberjack sandwich or something like that. What is a lumberjack sandwich? I'm very curious. Chipotle is bad burritos for white kids. See, this is freaky because we're fighting like level 15 zombies, and you know when they're like, you can manage it when they're a couple of levels ahead, but like 15 is pretty grisly, to be honest. I think the one thing I had an issue with when I was fighting this boss for the first time was just how bad the combat system was, that it genuinely made it quite a difficult experience.
It's got that older feel to it for some of like with the older games.
Oh, definitely.
Some of them you love, but the combat's horrendous.
Going back to Knights of the Old Republic, that's one thing I'm scared about.
Exactly what I was about to say.
Because they said that they're changing the combat system, and I liked it. I loved the kind of classic D20. I didn't understand that it was D20 like for so long, because I played it when I was a kid, so it was like literally just me button mashing and hoping for the best, using Master Flurry for pretty much everything. But nah, I did. Who's your favourite companions in Knights of the Old Republic, Joy?
In the second game, it was always Atten Rand and
Yeah.
I can't remember now. I'm gonna look up names because I can't. I know who they are, but I can't remember the names. So. KOTOR 2 companions.
See, like KOTOR 2, like introduced a lot of kind of like, I remember there being like way more emphasis on the skills. Garrus in Mass Effect 2 is definitely like just the like Garrus's reveal in Mass Effect 2 was like brought me genuine joy when I played it for the first time. It still brings me joy now. Strawberry Bird, welcome, first time chatting. Cheese pasta with half a pack of Rocket, nice. No, that's absolutely valid. That's a very good meal. Rocket goes well with a lot. Surprisingly, a lot.
Since I
Okay,
can't reveal myself to my mother now, I must find a discreet spot to attend the ceremony.
A discreet spot to attend the funeral of your sister.
I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live.
So, this is the sister that you bit in the neck at the start of the game, by the way.
Shall never die. We commend unto thy hands of mercy, most merciful Father.
HK47 is a fantastic character.
That's actually one of the people I was just about to say, because that's, yeah.
Sorry,
I
statement, HK47 is a fantastic character.
Dust to dust.
Sorry, what were you going to say there, Joy?
I was one of my friends, his username on MSN, which I'm showing my age with that one, was always something meatbag because of HK47, because that was his common phrase. So this is a dramatic moment happening on screen. We're talking about a different game.
yeah. I was gonna say this is like you killed your sister at the start. Killed your sister at the start of the game.
Please take me out.
Yes, madam.
And that's your mum with no family around her, because you're just what? You're just leaning up on the balcony up there, just casually like, yeah. I mean, they picked a hell of a night for a funeral. I can't help but think, whenever I see him from the front, I always think he dyes his beard. His beard's like so black, and then it's got to be
Using
dyed.
Just for Men.
Yeah, it's like he's 100% dyed that. He actually glued it on before he didn't have a beard before he was a vampire.
That's how he gets it so pointy. It's a fake beard that's been straightened and trimmed.
Nothing you can do, but accept it.
Wait, is this when you fight her?
It might not be now that you think about it, because that's the what's her face.
Yeah, unless she leaves and then your sister appears.
I am so sorry for your
I get to
loss,
keep my
Jonathan.
cat. Success. She was kindness incarnate.
She was a good person. Vibrant, full of life. She was kindness incarnate, my Mary.
You're a good person, Jonathan. And a
Now,
young Ekon, a new
don't get
one
me wrong.
cast into the night without so much as a candle
It
to
obviously
light
needs to
the way.
fit the time, but I do find it weird that my Mary is how he's referring to his sister.
Jonathan, don't.
I still
Is
hear
that-
her last thought
Is that very off the time?
echo in my head.
It is kind of, you'd have
shattered, and
Yeah, you see it in a lot of historical kind of,
Jonathan's
not even
Okay.
just romances, but historical fiction. You do have that kind of the siblings are
learn to live with
the
My-
terminology we use now would be different.
I would get like, oh, my dear brother, my dear sister, but like my Mary, like first name just seems a bit like,
how can I?
Don't you see?
And so this,
I'll follow your
what
advice.
should I do then?
St. Mary's Church is not far from here. Go there.
Yeah, so we're not fighting our sister just now, I don't
Find
think.
the solace you need.
My lady.
Thank
wants
goodness,
me to
because you're only
confess.
a level 11.
Yeah.
It was not going to go well.
I could. I've struggled enough in my time that I think I could give it at least a decent go. But there does seem to be like this. Ah, shit. There does seem to be this like, I don't know, leveling out almost, where if you're really under leveled, you will just get pummeled into the fucking ground. Because I remember like one of her attacks where she like grows weeds all around you is really fucking annoying. And you basically, you need the stamina pool to dodge constantly. Like what I don't have here. I mean, I dodged all of his attacks. I also need a much better claw attack, because fucking hell, it's a bit weak. I'm trying to get into using that shield a bit more, but it is kind of garbage. Garbage until you at least upgrade it a fair bit. Okay, we've got a common trigger part, but that's kind of useless because I don't really use guns. I'm a traditional vampire.
Church he goes, a newborn seeking divine consent to lick the blood from the soft and pointy crown.
Who are you? Make yourself known.
Newborn, you reek of guilt and pointless compassion. Shed your skin, forget your old weaker
Just
self.
wondering why my
What do you
Steam was
want from
flashing
me?
at me and its Medieval Dynasty has an update.
Ah, nice.
Guess I'll be playing that afterwards.
Not approve of lone wolves who bring unwanted eyes to our pastures.
So your name is.
Oh, that's right, this guy.
Ascalon's
Ascalon.
will is vampire law. Learn them, abide
Look how big his fucking hands are!
as your
Holy shit!
endure.
That one giant finger. Jesus.
These immortals try my patience with their plans and unsolicited counsel.
What is going on? Oh no, oh shit. These guys are the worst. Oh, these guys are legit, like the religious guys with the cross. You know those religious guys with the cross? They're the worst.
In the game.
In the game.
In the game.
Oh yeah, they've also got that close range attack, which fucking sucks. There, I stole his lead rod. Nice.
His crucifix. This is not good news.
See, oh, speaking of like all things vampire, see What We Do in the Shadows. Have
Oh,
you seen that, Joy?
Love it. I yes.
Matt Berry is so good at just everything he does. Like
You
everything
can
Matt
give him
Berry does
any
is
character. Any
Oh, I know.
character.
genuinely incredible. What We Do in the Shadows, if all of you have a chance to see it, just watch it. It's like 3 seasons of like, it's a vampire comedy, but it's done like a mockumentary. It's funny as fuck. It's just brilliant.
We're talking about the TV show right now. But yeah, the
Yes.
movie's good as well. But the TV show is I have literally laughed myself sick with the TV
Oh,
show.
I was cry laughing at it. You know, like when something like that just fucking gets you and you're just buckled for ages. Like absolute hysterics. I've went the wrong way into this fucking church.
The spin-off Wellington. Well, I've not seen Wellington Paranormal.
I've not seen that either. I've
That's
not seen
going
the
to be
film.
on
Is the film
my
any
to
good?
watch. The film's good as well. The film is the it really sets the tone for what the TV show is.
Yes.
Ah, okay, cool.
What is it that you want?
I'm sorry to disturb you at such a late hour.
No worries, my son. I'm still quite awake.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip this because it's just like, yeah.
I haven't the check. There are
I've words for...
your eyes burn.
Very well.
Open your heart.
She was.
You seem so.
She would.
I see.
I feel...
I have a final question.
Ask you.
What words would you?
I'm...
You have been.
Is that really what priests do? You've been heard. Don't worry, you're all good.
There. I confessed to that vicar. Do I feel better?
A vampire confessing to a vicar, that's quite a good, like, thing. Now I need to go back to the hospital. God. I'll play a wee bit more tonight, folks, because of course it's our Sunday stream and we have a lovely guest with us, so we can't, like, not, you know. It would be unfair to only use up 2 hours of your time. I need to waste more of it.
Any time enjoyed is not wasted. That's my view.
Aww.
I get so lost in this game. Like,
Is,
there was a
like-
point where I literally could not figure out where the hell I was supposed to go on the map. I YouTubed it so I could figure out where I was supposed to go, and I still got lost.
The problem is like, all the streets in fucking London do look the same. I imagine it
do.
would have been infinitely worse back then. Like... But yeah, like industrial London in 1918 is probably going to be shit. I say that like it's not bad now. So predictions for next week. What's going to happen? What do we think? Of course, the Queen has just passed her 70th year of queenery.
I genuinely think they're going to announce that she died.
Yeah, it's like
Genuinely.
kind of expecting like if we're seriously thinking it would happen, they totally spin it as like, oh, she was a fighter and she wanted to hang on to that 70th and then peace out.
Just so she doesn't get the 69 rule.
I was like, come on, it'd be good, but I say good. Like, obviously, I'm planning on not really saying that much about it on Tumblr, because
No.
everyone will expect me to, but I'll be like, nah, we're not doing that.
It'd be different if it was back in the day and it was Maggie Thatcher. Then I'd be.
Aye, that's fine.
That's, you know. But
There was someone who sent me an ask today saying that they had a dream about fighting Maggie Thatcher with spears, and they said it like as dueling Maggie Thatcher, which is fine, right? And then I was like, oh, did you win? And they then went into like this really graphic like they sent another ask that like I just decided not to respond to, but it was like really, really graphic and like, you know, spelling out exactly what they did with the spear, and I was like, I can't fucking post that, as horrible a woman as she was.
just close to revenge porn.
Yeah, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, people would just think I'm a bit weird if I fucking posted that.
Pretending to know how I should
Right, did I collect any goodies that I can upgrade weapons with? I don't think I did. Nah, because I need good handle parts, and they're not available until like a lot later. I need tiny common handle parts. I hate how there's like a weapon part in this game that has tiny in front of it. Like, doesn't make it sound very like, oh, I'm gonna be able to really fight tons of folk with this tiny handle part. Who's this?
God protect us. You've got a leech in the hospital.
Yes.
Oh,
This
McCallum.
guy.
He's got the same haircut as you and everything. He's basically a copy of your character.
For a snake.
They took the term foil too literally and just copy pasted.
Yeah.
Your song. You're a woodsman, McCallum, not a doctor. Return to your hunt.
Remember, I've a good nose for machinations. I can flare the scent at a mile. You can't hide from the guard.
Leave him, Jonathan.
You can't hide from the guard.
Neutral territory. And I just had the carpet cleaned.
Oh god, the comedic timing of that was really off.
By the sacred stone, this is very bad.
You know, like that was just like very
Awkward.
yeah. And it's like like a good 10-second pause. And I've just had the carpet cleaned. Where was the delivery? I'll protect you all, sure. Oh shit, we need to go into the whole Sean Hampton thing, which is in the shirt. The church. Don't know why I said shirt there.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's like a whole thing. I'll try and get to like the next objective, and then I'll probably call it a night on the stream, but because I have a busy week ahead. Don't we all? But yeah, I've got a busy week ahead. I love how you can just open a crate and find opium. That's pretty neat.
Everywhere back in the day.
It's just some fucking
Opium, just go to the pharmacist and get a cough medicine.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, cheers for the follow. Song for Juliet. Hope you're having a good day, wherever you are. We do, we just have random opiates. What the fuck happened there? I was probably just not paying attention. Holistic Field, thank you for the follow as well. I have been defeated. Suffering is part of the immortal condition. The pain will never stop. Oh, good. Love it when that happens. Has the game crashed? The music hasn't. So, if anyone wants an idea of how thirsty I've been this stream, I have drank this entire bottle, which is a litre. So, that's good. Getting my
Good for your kidneys.
Yeah, getting my hydration in. Is it specifically your kidneys that's good for? Cool. This is how much I know about my body. Just like, yeah, sure.
I mean, I drink 2 litres of water a day minimum because of my blood volume, so that's it affects everything. But yeah, not doing anything to dissuade people that I'm not a vampire.
There's more water equal good, yeah. That's
yes.
pretty much, yeah.
Up to a certain point.
Yeah. Too much water equal death. Or overhydration. Oh, that one's a 17. That's why it killed me. Because it was 17. These young vampires. Ah, fuck. Oh, man. So, this is the thing that also gets me about this game. Is like, I've got that blood shield attack, right? Which is fine. But other vampires and other enemies can actually parry you. Like, see that one that he just held up his arms there? There's nothing I can do to break that. Which is a bit annoying. So, sorry, no one is here to hear me whine about the mechanics of a vampire game. But it is frustrating.
Yeah, you got them.
Yeah, they are now dead. 47% of your followers are vampires. Mine or Joy's?
Important distinction to make.
The answer is probably yes to both, in fairness, but I imagine, Joy, that you've got a monopoly on vampire followers.
Vampires, werewolves, everything, anything, yes.
Nice.
Lots
I like
of
how
theories about my own immortality, which regretfully are untrue, but never mind.
Oh, we've got... Oh, for fuck's... Oh no, these guys are 17s as well. Well, he's not anymore. He's a dead teen. Oh. Ah, the lock-on system in this game's pants! Get me out of here! Yeah, just casually stuck on a wooden cart. You love to see it. Oh man, this is a total fucking mess. Oh, there's so many enemies here. What a pile of fucking nonsense. I'm getting out. I'm just... Oh, there's a priest.
The Freewen are redoubling their patrols in the district.
Ah, they're the Freewen, of course. I forgot all of it. Like, first I thought these were just these gangs, but now these are like the official vampire hunters that are annoying as shit. And it's the McCallum guy that's in charge of them, eh?
I actually really like the twist in his narrative. Holly, it's okay.
Because am I right in, like, again, spoilers, am I right in saying that he's a vampire, or he's something? I know he is something.
No, he gets turned into a werewolf, I think. If
Ah,
I remember.
yeah. Do you not have to fight him? Or does
You
it...
do.
Yeah.
It's a big scene involving sunlight inside of a tower.
Ah. Right, indeed. A lead stick. Excellent. yeah, there's not so much of a secret vampire hunting society, it's just this what you fucking did back in the day, it's just the lads. Get the lads out, hunt some vampires. Again, what is, like, they're able to parry? I mean, I know they need to have some sort of advantage, but why can't I parry?
I think because you can disappear into smoke. That might be your advantage.
Right, okay. Oh, and eat rats. I forgot about
And
eating
eat
rats. I do love that you can just find, like, codeine in boxes and shit. It's brilliant. Right, let's jump up here. That is locked. That was useless. How do I actually get in there again? Is it...
Yeah, there's another door on the other side.
Yeah. Oh, that's another rat. Pretty grim. Aluminium powder. Ah, there we go. Nope, that's locked too. Ah. Is it maybe like a story one?
It might be, now that I think about it.
I've done, like, on one hand, I get it. There's like many a time in the past where like I've played a game and I'm one of those people who like really likes to do all the side stuff and like sometimes I like to be overpowered for my playthrough of the story, because I like to like complete the story in a like not in a grindy way. So I tend to like grind all the side quest stuff. And sometimes that leads to like having a massive advantage in like, you know, if you, I'm pretty sure there's been some like Assassin's Creed in the past where like you've been able to find like everything and you've got, yeah, it's just overpowered, which is fine. Oh, come on.
It's the Gopher School of gaming anything that's interesting.
Yeah.
He's doing a completionist run of Red Dead 2 at the moment, and it's
damn.
really it's a lot to do.
I was chatting about Red Dead 2 with Jessica earlier, because like sometimes I have the same feeling about Red Dead Redemption 2 in the same way when if someone was to ask me if I wanted to watch like Breaking Bad again, like Breaking Bad's like a series that I've only watched once, and I struggle to kind of go back to, like, the epilogue of Red Dead 2 for me was just too long.
Yeah.
Like, I do like that after the first Red Dead, where you got to play as Jack at the end, and everyone was pure crying out for John Marston. You got the exact same in this one, but people crying out for Arthur. Which is fair, because I think Arthur's a better character. But
the writing for Red Dead 2 was really good. So that
Yeah.
was something I really enjoyed.
I saw that...
Actually installed a mod that basically turns it into a horse cow game, and no one to action. You just get to ride around. It's fantastic. I love it.
That
I
sounds
love the
great.
scenery. I did like playing it online, but it's unplayable online.
Oh, there's just so many people. Like, there's too many dickheads like online.
There's too many. There's too many mods. There's people are using the mods and they're just cheap.
Oh, really? Is it just?
Yeah. I literally got the last time I played. I got rocket launched out of atmosphere.
Oh, okay. As you
They're
do.
they're using the mods for GTA 6, I think.
5. Or yeah.
I don't remember, but 5, yes, 5.
Yeah, 5.
But they're using a lot of mods and stuff that is not in game, and they're
Right.
able to drain your funds. Like there's mods that drain your bank account and stuff like that. And
fuck
it's just
that,
like, well, I know.
Can't
So
be
I don't.
arsed.
I installed a bunch of mods that let you go around the actual world, either
Yeah.
as John or Arthur, and you just get to hang around and just be with your horse and see this. Because I like the sights. I like to go exploring without having, Javier comes riding up behind you for the umpteenth time in his 30 days and goes, "Oh, Bill's been captured again." Like if Bill's getting captured that many times, dead weight, man.
just fucking let him go. Nah, that's cool. I mean, one of the things that I know that everyone was been struggling with on Red Dead Online is that like the economy was a fucking shambles when it launched.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
Like, because you like, I think someone was saying you have to sell like literally thousands of like deer pelts if you wanted to get like a new gun. Like stuff that in the story game you're literally only doing the kind of, to an extent, the bare minimum.
Good evening, sir.
Who the fuck are you? Don't you feel busy here?
Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Good evening, sir. Who the fuck are you?
We've got here.
So you won't.
very, very London
Yeah.
greeting if you come up behind someone in a dark alleyway.
Oh, is this not the guy that fancies himself a pure mad vampire hunter? Or is that another guy?
No, this is the guy that fancies himself to be a mad gangster.
Oh, yes. But the other mad gangster's actually her, is it not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Because that's what's his face? That's Clay's wife.
Yeah. Oh, let's trade. What's she got? She's got tiny common handle parts. Exactly what I was after. I love a woman with tiny common handle parts. Right, we've got... Okay, we don't need to sell our treatments for anemia or anything like that. We're all good here. Everyone's healthy, yeah. I actually didn't finish my dialogue with her. Looking for Sean Hampton. Your feelings for Digby?
You have no idea how refreshing it can be for a woman to receive all the pleasure she needs. At once.
I'll take your word for it.
What is it, Doctor? A woman's not supposed to talk about these things.
I sense a soft heart, or I'm not that easily shocked. Yeah, you can talk about fucking whatever you like. Heart of Gold 42, thank you very much for the follow.
I'm not
Hope you're having a good
easily
day.
shocked, Miss Cox. You can speak freely about your lover if you so wish.
The poor bastard is good to me, if you must know. He makes me feel good.
Well, that's nice. Everyone feels...
So you're just like
everyone
any
should
other
be
guy.
deserved.
If
Okay, cool. We're you're quite a blunt woman.
take what?
Okay, cool. We're done here.
Good.
And that guy was T-posing. I hope everyone saw that.
And then
Crack
you
in the
just-
cloud. Thanks for the follow. Sorry, Joy. What you saying?
Then he just kind of
Oh,
vanished out of shot. It's looked like he just glitched.
Not a drop of blood left in his body.
amazing. Crack in the cloud. Good to see you. I wish games would go back to multiplayer, meaning multiple people playing on the same system in the same room. Yeah, I agree. Like, all of my best kind of like online multiplayer experiences have been with someone sitting next to me. Whether it was like me and my dad playing Halo when I was like 5, or like me and my mates like playing round like 1 or 2 screens. Even like LAN parties and stuff. Like I feel online's pretty minging and toxic, to be honest. I'm always kind of horrified at the number of like whenever I want to play an online game, like the amount of like completely unmoderated like chats and racism and all the rest that's just allowed to fucking fester really fucks me off. Like it gets it's fucking bad, especially like folk who name their servers as well, like really racist shit that I'm not gonna repeat on here, but it's pretty bad, and it's like there's a reason why like I would never take pride in calling myself a gamer with like a capital G gamer. They're the worst. Ichabod Throgmorton. What a fucking name that is. That has that been like plucked out by the dev team as like a bit of a meme, or
I think so.
is there like a kind of famous vampire huntery type thing with that, or?
Well, there's Ichabod from Sleepy Hollow,
Yeah.
who's the one that I can think of. Throgmorton just feels like they threw darts at a wall and just went with whatever stuck.
Yeah.
Cousin Throcky, yes, Cousin Throcky, my cousin Throgmorton.
Inebriation aside.
Yes.
Right, we're gonna give medicine to this guy.
You don't really want me to stop. The only remedy I can afford.
Okay.
I recoup that.
Okay. I'm trying to find someone who I can fucking eat. Because you end up needing to do like this is how it ties you into like a whole bunch of side quests. Mothman, thank you very much for the subscription. Hope you enjoy your emotes. Okay.
Gave away all the subscriptions he ever, and he wasn't subscribed himself.
Once in on the emote game.
Yes.
Well, we are still hopefully getting emotes. We've got ideas for new emotes, and we're taking suggestions for new emotes. So if you'd like anything specific, then you're more than welcome to suggest it. It's one of those things that I'm like in this kind of weird gap where like I've got a lot of slots for emotes, but like it's spoilt for choice almost. So I think let's have a look at his details actually. So we've got that, and there's another 3, but he's got like a side quest associated with him that we need to deal with. But that's like another thing.
Well,
I say that like we've been paying attention to any character in this game. Name one character in this game that's not Dr. John Reed or the guy Throgmorton that we just spoke to.
Dr. Swan.
Okay, that's cheating. He's the main man. Give me someone else that's not Sean Hampton and isn't Tom Watts. That isn't on the screen right now.
Yes, Clay Clocks, Mary, and...
Aye, Clay Cox only because we were talking about fucking clay sex toys earlier. That's... I mean, it's a good way to memorise it, I suppose. I'm guessing we need to go back to where we were when we started the game. Nurse Right, okay. I don't need to know all the characters. It was just yeah. It's fine.
Well, it's nice to know people are paying attention to what you're doing.
Yeah. Oh my god, he's level 22. What the fuck? I should really just... Oh my god, I'm going to die. I'm going to die horribly. This is not good. He is a full 11 levels higher than me. And he just punched me once. Holy shit. Also, that werewolf can teleport? That's just fucking cheating, I think.
He's got the advanced version of your power.
Yeah, I mean... Surely the power of being a werewolf is enough. You don't need, like... Oh my god, he's just grabbed me. Shitting fuck. Oh, he's just straight up killed me. That took off at least 50% of my health. That was just a... You'll find there's very little that can kill a vampire, except a werewolf. Die by werewolf fisting. Nice. Thanks. Sure. You play Dark Souls, I should be used to this. Yeah, see, Dark Souls has the accompanying combat system that, like... like, yeah, I get that I should probably enter Dark Souls mode, but it's a bit hard when the rest of the game isn't screaming Dark Souls. I like how I spawned there as well.
With no health.
Oh, he jumped. Oh. Christ. Jesus Christ. He's dead. Well, yes. Yes, he is. Oh, see what I mean? Like, fucking... Whew. Oh. See, I've got an issue with the range. Like, can't say that the werewolf's range is just fucking huge. He's a big boy. He's a big boy. Can I please heal, please, a bit more? Come on. This is the Dark Souls one. I'm getting like 15 health for every little stab. Oh, get out of there. Okay, come on. Oh, come on! Yes, that is how you kill a werewolf. And he fell in the worst pose possible. Like doing the splits. Well, at least... Okay, so all I had to do was do that and then go through this door. I don't remember the guy Sean being here. Oh no, this is a boss fight. Piss. Okay, let's...
Seems like the guard of pre-winners on.
Jimmy the Spark Barlow. What I hate leeches. Lie. Okay, Jesus. There's no need for name calling. We can just fight like gentlemen. I like how Jonathan's very like... He's almost too proper for this.
He's becoming a vampire is just a big inconvenience to him.
It's like... Please, sir. My dear good sir, can you stop flamethrowing me for 5 seconds? Oh, this is really fucking annoying, because that fucking nonsense flamethrower attack's just shit. Especially because I've got to circle strafe him and avoid the flamethrower, and his flamethrower doesn't harm any of his companions. They're wearing like fireproof clothing. That's what you do. Oh my good god, it's like... Come on. Crush the leech. Oh my good god. Yeah, that's the one problem with a lot of the bosses in this, is that it is just like, oh, I'll summon all of my friends. And the thing is, he can also, like, he's not even like a slow enemy, he was like full on sprinting with a flamethrower. You know how heavy flamethrowers are? Flamethrowers are really heavy. I don't know exactly how heavy they are, but I know that they're pretty fucking heavy.
I don't think you'd be able to sprint with it.
No, I mean, like... You also have to... I mean, he's probably big enough to carry a flamethrower on his back, but like... It was still a heavy bit of kit.
Summon all my inflammable friends. No, Jim, you can't come. You're too flammable for this one.
You've got to stay at home tonight, mate. Oh, see that fucking attack as well. I can't believe that my special claw attack can actually be blocked. Which again is like... Nonsense.
You not get up into the rafters from up here.
You can't do the rafter thing from
From
in
the boss
combat.
fight. Okay.
So it's like you can. So like that's part of the. Is the one thing with a lot of games when they separate their like exploring features from their other features. Like again, that kind of backhand, like the wild swinging of the torch, like that. That's an attack, and it allows them to create distance. Nonsense. Right. Well, we'll see about killing this guy, and then I think we'll wrap it up there. Hopefully I don't die here, otherwise that'll be really embarrassing. Oh, come on! Get out of there, you fucking dick! Jesus. Damn it, Jonathan! Oh, there's another one! Ah, again, like... My best hope for this is literally getting enough health that I can risk going in for one of the claws. That's sadly where we're at. Oh, come on. Oh, come on, come on, come on. We must do this dance. Where's my swarm of bats when I need... Exactly. It's like, you know, of all the useful vampire powers, why am I restricted in this particular fight? Tell you what, I wouldn't want to be on the, like, on the receiving end of a flamethrower.
I think it'll be a wee bit toasty.
He's like, literally become like a marshmallow. I've not had toasted marshmallows in a long, long time. Actually, that's a lie. I had one in New Year. We went for a walk around the Botanic Gardens. They were doing like a light show thing in Edinburgh, and it was really nice. And on the way round, there was a toasted marshmallow stand. I didn't know you got.
Nice.
I didn't know you got flavors of marshmallow. It was the first time that they were like, "Yeah, choose your marshmallow flavor," and I was like, "Isn't marshmallow a flavor?" But no, apparently you can get like salted caramel marshmallows and stuff. Which was a new experience for me. You can see how uncultured I am.
The most interesting one I've had is pistachio flavoured.
Oh.
And it was weird because there was no crunch.
Oh. I think I'd prefer a crunch, to be honest.
Yeah.
If it
It
is...
was weird because you're expecting the crunch of pistachios, but it's just like...
Nope.
Lump.
No crunch for you.
Just lump.
I've tried pistachio ice cream, and that's really nice. Quite like pistachio ice cream. That guy hit me from behind there. No, that guy... Yeah, that guy swung his blade and attacked me from behind. He hit me over his back, is actually what I'm saying. Oh, right. So before I go, I'm going to tell you about my axe throwing yesterday, right? So my axe throwing was... fantastic. Like I knew that I was going to axe throwing, but what I didn't realize I was going to do was learn 4 different techniques for axe throwing. So I got to do like a standard one-handed throw, and then I did like a two-handed, like over the back like throw. Then I got to throw 2 axes at once. And then I got to do this like weird trick shot thing where you start with the axe facing towards you, and you put it over your shoulder, and then you throw it and like flick your wrist at the end, and the axe lands with the blade of the axe. Basically, the axe lands upside down, but also embedded into the thing that you throw it at. Could be a human, could be a target, which it was targets yesterday, and. Like, yeah, so it ends up upside. So now I'm an axe throwing master. I can now say I've like trained at axe throwing, which is quite interesting, to be honest. But yeah, very, very good fun. Would recommend it. Quite cathartic as well. So if anyone,
Imagine so.
if anyone wants to like get some angst out, like I totally recommend it. Right, I'll jump out onto this. Oh, Lower Thames Banks. Cool. So we're still. I think we're still quite a far bit away from this Sean Hampton guy. Because yeah, this bit of the docks is fucking annoying actually. Because there's so many guys and they're all level 17. There we go. Right. Let's boom, boom, boom. Dead. Oh my god, there's fucking a million of them. Yeah, Twitch does have ads, but if you're a subscriber, you don't need to see them. And also, one thing that I never ever do and will never do, I will never run ads during a stream. That's a terrible thing. I do the exact same with YouTube. Like, I do not allow ads on any of my videos because it's... I don't know. I'm against the whole thing. Don't like ads. It'd be like, do you want an ad before you read the next chapter of Hunger Pangs? Nah, it's just no. Actually, that's an idea, Joy. You could insert ads for like NFTs in between each one.
Oh god.
So it's like, so it's not a Hunger Pang NFT, but it is your like NFT marketplace gets beamed into your readers' retinas every couple of minutes.
How to lose readers and fast.
I see. Actually, that's another thing that I meant to say. See at each section of your book in the chapters one. I really appreciated early on when you had you have the dates, you have the date and the time, and if it's the same time, you add like still.
Yeah.
I really appreciated that because it was literally one of the first things I was thinking about doing is like, oh, I'm going to have to go and look at the next chapter to see what the time jump is. And you made it really easy for me, so I appreciate that.
It was a way of getting around my complete lack of time blindness that I have as part of my ADHD, because I do the same with books. Like, if there's anything that's going to take like months to get through, I forget completely.
Yeah.
So I just went for... It's still 1888. It's fantastic. You don't have to
No,
worry too much.
I love that. It was like it was another, you know, I would almost describe it as an accessibility feature for books, and I like that a lot. I'm gonna read some more tonight as well. I've had such a shit week that I've not had a chance to read much in bed, but I'm hoping to do that this evening. So I'm gonna wrap up.
Hopefully this week's better for you then.
Yeah, fingers crossed, because like, you know, when the problem is when I get into it, I just read for ages. Mm-hmm. And like Jessica always looks at me, it's like she's on her phone and she's like, well, I'm only on my phone because you're reading, and I'm like, well, I'm only still reading because you're on your phone. I feel like we need to talk more. Cool, I'm just checking to see if there... Yeah, and you had to pick up some stuff. That's fine. Now... Wait a minute. Oh, piss. Right. I think I've been a bit of a numpty here. As in, I think I was originally convinced that I was going a certain way, but I think this is for a side quest later. What a dumbass. I hate how regardless of how strong my weapon is, I can't seem to like overpower these guys at all. Like, it's always a big struggle. Oh, I just got to see inside that wall there. I get... Wait, yeah, look at that. Nice.
It's your vampire powers. You can see through walls.
That is exactly what I was... Yeah, I didn't know I had that power as an old vampire. But we're doing pretty good. The night shelter's vicinity. Oh yeah, this is like a friendly area, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
A fancy doctor, nurse.
And what about
You.
Yeah, I'm just gonna meet people and then yeah. Okay, we don't need that. Is it dangerous to walk at night? Sad saint. Are you homeless? Da, da, da. I'm looking for Sean Hampton. Cause isn't Sean Hampton like leader of like the? Is it the Thralls? Or is it like something else?
He's slowly turning into something inhuman.
Yeah, it's kind of vague, isn't it? It's like.
Mm-hmm. Well, so Randa just touched on something there with I wish the game would let Jonathan romance people. I do not like the ending of this game because it forces the romance on you whether you like the character it pairs you with or not. You can pick all the options to hate her and you still get paired with her.
And I thought it was really, really forced. Like, really forced.
It was.
Oh my god, he's
not doing so well. He's not a well boy.
He looks unwell.
Why did you kill Miss
Killed old Harriet? You must be...
So you claim Miss Jones...
No. Of course.
I'm impressed. Okay, so we'll go and explore the sewers. Again, I feel like I've gone way over time tonight. But, fuck. See where I just was? That's where, fucking, I knew it. Is there a rest point around here, actually? That would be, yeah, there is.
There might be.
There's a hideout there. And it's like... Nice, cool. So I'll jump up there and I'll rest and I'll maybe level up once or twice. I feel like it's stamina and health that's the important bit, really. I don't really. I mean, obviously, I would love to have like more of a claw attack, but if I increase my stamina and I increase my health, it means I can swing my blade a bit more, and that's always fun. What else have I got? Can I upgrade this? 1,300, that's shit. I'll upgrade my blood capacity, because it's always nice when you get a bit more blood. Sorry, truth or dare? Ebony, it depends. I'll choose truth here. And then you get to ask me a question. Or I suppose in this case you also get to ask Joy a question, but I didn't ask Joy if she was okay with that, so...
That's fine.
We're both getting a truth. Yeah, it's not like a randomly generated thing, Ebony. Sorry, I didn't get the notification there until I looked. I'm waiting for like the most intense fucking truth. I'm gonna have to spill some deep dark secret that I've buried about myself for years. One of my top 5 bands. Why would you do that to me? See, this is where I clam up, because like I can't possibly list my top 5 bands, because it's exceptionally hard to do so.
You dare me to give Holly Mop a little kiss. I can do that very easily. Or Mothman can, because he's holding her right now.
So hold on, I get to list my 5 bands, you get dared to hug your dog. Okay, I see.
I can do the bands as well.
Yeah, you'll definitely do the bands as well. I'll need to think. I mean, like, see, when I hear bands, I immediately think like of all the kind of like metal, rock, pop punk bands that I listen to, because like that's what I think of when I think bands. But like my normal music would be like the Lord of the Rings soundtrack. So bands that would like meant a lot to me in the past, but I don't listen to as much now. One of them is The Ghost Inside, so I'll say that. Do you want to do a band each?
Yeah,
Joy?
Sure. Randa's just called mine out. So my top one that I'm listening to the most at the moment is The Amazing Devil, which has Joey Beatty from The Witcher in it. It's basically folk song, rock, theatrics.
Nice.
It's very, very good. It's very kind of it's basically music for Shakespeare nerds. I think is the best way I can put it.
Best way to describe it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun though. Like I've been listening to all 3 of their albums since the start of lockdown, and I haven't stopped. So
Nice. Okay. Next up, probably A Day to Remember. If I've got any pop punk fans here, I'm a big fan of A Day to Remember. That was pretty much high school. I'd say would cover that. So yeah, A Day to Remember would be my next one. They've got a new song out that I have forgotten the name of, but I actually quite enjoyed. And it's funny because it's like, it's not as aggressive as what like little teenage angst I for Scotland would have listened to. It's called Everything We Need. And it's like, it's a really nice acoustic version of like a kind of road trip through the US. And it kind of, it intertwines a little bit with my Pacific Northwest fantasy that you hear me talking about all the time. So yeah, that's my second one. Joy?
my second one is Vision Video Band. It is a goth band from
Nice.
the Midwest, and they are very much it's very much a goth revival. So it's got the kind of the aesthetics of the 80s and 90s, but instead of it being kind of the singer has a very kind of soaring voice, which I enjoy about him, and he also does fantastic skits on Instagram where he is goth dad. And he dresses up like, you know, the kind of, he's got all the goth makeup and everything else, but he dresses in like a kind of Hugh Hefner type bathrobe, and he's giving you advice as a goth dad. And they're very, he did a live the other day, which mad respect to me, was doing a live, and a bunch of fascists came in going, oh, well, you can't exclude us from this because we're part of your community. And all of the band from Vision Video just went, no, you're not. You don't belong in our community. Yeah,
Your band.
yeah. But they're kind of a nice kind of, The Cure meets Depeche Mode meets 90s grunge, I think, is a good way of doing it. So they're a lot of fun. I do like Vision Video Band. So
Nice.
Vision Video Band. I can put it in the. Yeah, I found them on Instagram about a year ago, maybe, and they just did their first album, and they're composing their second, and it's been really good. I've enjoyed them.
Nice. Third band. I feel like, okay, I'm gonna take I'm gonna go with some Scottish folk. From a modern perspective, I really like Tide Lines. So if you're looking for some Scottish folk that's quite modern, check out Tide Lines. They are very, very good. The guy's accent, like, I mean, you just think Scottish brogue accent when you listen to him. He's a very talented singer, but he and it's his natural singing voice. But I suppose it would kind of hit every stereotype on the way down. But no, really good. So that's my third. Sorry, I know that there's a boss coming up here. Yep. That.
My third's also a Scottish band, and it's Idlewild.
Oh.
Which was a kind of
These maggots have escaped the
rock,
Basculon for too long.
indie rock from the 1990s. And they did some of my favourite things when I was a kid. Say kid, I was a teenager. But yeah, that was they were one of my big ones. I know my friend got a lot of their lyrics tattooed on her. It was a very kind of, it appealed to the emo kids as well without being emo style music, so that was a big part of it as well. But you'll find a lot of my stuff is very either theatrical or goth based, unsurprisingly. Oh, that's right, you're fighting the big boy.
Yeah, I'm fighting a big boy. So fourth band for me, I'm gonna go with like it's gonna be another metal band. It's gonna be Parkway Drive, Australian metal band who also have a couple of songs in German, which is really, really good. So like just German versions of their songs, and it's really quite nice, so would recommend that if anyone's into their metal. I don't imagine many people are, but oh god. Oh yeah, he's got like shadow versions of himself. They suck. Oh, he's also got a mean backhand.
The size of his hands.
Yeah, exactly. He's actually like, he's got really weird proportions. His arms are way too long. Oh. Okay, he can also knock you off your feet apparently, which sucks. And he also does that, which also sucks. Oh, get out of there. Come on.
My fourth band is gonna be cliche and just say Queen. This quote Terry Pratchett, every single mixed tape / CD that gets left in the car long enough turns into Queen's greatest hits, and that's true. It was certainly true for my upbringing because me and my dad would always be listening to Queen in the car. It's one of my, if I need to amp myself up for doing something, I will put Queen's greatest hits on.
Again, this is the trick when it comes into bands, like, because it's not like I wouldn't go to a band as such, but oh no, what's going on? Oh no, this guy's called Fergal.
I shall crush you.
Oh, I need some fucking health, man. Oh, come on! Why is... Come on, health, health, health.
Apt quotation Queen in the chat happening right now. Who wants to live forever?
Oh no. I do. I want to live forever. I don't want to die to this boss.
Return to your apothecary and needles.
Oh no! Come on! Like, I want to get back to like semi-decent health before I try and like really go for him. Right, okay, I think we're... Ah, you stupid bastard! Ah, he's doing that annoying jump as well.
It's really fun for me because I get to listen to what you're saying before it appears on the screen and I just get to guess what just happened.
Like, is this stupid fucking dust bunny monsters? Okay, I need some health. Stab. Oh, come on! Ah, why is this so fucking hard? Probably because he's a level 18 and I'm not.
Your blood is now mine. I shall crush you.
He's now got like 5. He spawns 5 of those monsters now. And even though I hit him, he still doesn't stun, which is annoying. Oh, okay, we're doing this game again.
Hitting a brick wall with your fist.
I shall crush you.
Did I just hit his dark thing? His little guy. His little guy! That's... I'll be amazed if I kill this guy first time. Just need to...
You're doing better than I thought you would.
Oh, thanks. Don't know how I feel about that, but sure.
I remember my first time doing fighting Fergal and he just rammed me through the wall so hard. So...
Oh no. Oh, that was fucking cheeky. He was miles away there. fuck you, Fergal, you dickhead.
Yay!
Oh, face down and everything. Well, I got an achievement. That was defeat the beast. So we'll get back up to Sean and then I will call it a night, I think. Again, folks, I suppose it's like only I can only recommend Joy's book so much, but I'm gonna do it again. If you've not checked out Hunger Pangs, and I believe that Mothman or Joy will be dropping the link into chat, but fight back against NFTs and go and get a copy of Joy's book from the new website that isn't FNT affiliated.
Not at all, no.
Not at
So
all.
far, if they do decide to go with NFTs, I will move again. So.
Exactly. Fight the power, or fight the people who are desperately trying to get power. And also fuck NFTs.
Fuck NFTs. That's the takeaway from this whole stream.
Yeah, 100%. Right, where am I going? I think I'm down here. Maybe, I don't know. I'm lost in a mine. It's possibly one of the worst places to get lost. Oh, we're back where we were. That was silly. So we're through here and then we're up the stairs. Oh, it's a scal, not a thrall. It's a scal.
Safe we are, still. Drink now. This isn't the blood of a vampire, but it will quench your thirst. This is our domain, not yours. You've been warned.
Wait, I saved you from this creature. That must count for something.
Thank you. Go.
Thank you, no, fuck off.
There is no...
Sean Hampton
You
sent me.
must know.
I'm Jonathan Reed. I'm a newborn Ekon.
I shall not bend a knee, young Ekon.
So is it you?
Perhaps.
The guard.
The scars have always...
Sean.
Did you...
Okay, so
I don't.
She is...
we're like, we're good. I'll go and do the kind of like. Oh, it's actually downstairs. Whom's does this?
Hello, Harriet. Do you recognize
Harriet.
Yes, you were from the pit.
me? I have so many questions.
I love.
Okay.
How
I can't.
does
People.
Yes, thank you, Joy, for putting the links in stream.
Thank
One
you
thing.
for letting me.
No, not no problem at all. It's the least I can do, considering you can come and spend hours of your life on the stream with me.
It's good fun.
No, it's really good. We should try and organise a Frostpunk thing, actually.
We should.
Which would just
I could
be me crying.
I can talk endlessly about Frostpunk. I can play it for... I think the last time I streamed it, I did it 8 hours in a row.
Holy
And I didn't even realise I did it for 8 hours.
Oh, man. That's... I mean, it's that kind of game. You know what's weird? I find myself kind of enjoying how bleak it is. I know that's really
Yes.
fucking weird, but it's like, it's so harrowing, but like, there's a lot of really quite hopeful stuff in it as well. Just the act of playing the game is weirdly hopeful, just because you're having to like constantly come back from a bad time.
Have you ever played it on Christmas Day?
What, just Frostpunk in general? No.
So if you play Frostpunk, I think you have to play it in endless mode, but it gives you the option to use excess resources to make toys for children and also to have Christmas trees.
Oh, fucking hell.
And that's lovely. That is one of my... I always make a point of playing it on Christmas Day because it's a really, really nice Like the graphics
yeah.
they made for it, you know, all the stuff that they put into it's really lovely.
Especially for a single day, you know?
Yeah, and you feel like such a Scrooge if you don't do it.
Yeah. And if you fail, what happens?
The children don't get extra food, they don't get toys, and there's no Christmas trees.
Well, that's extremely depressing. I can't wait to play. I'm gonna load it up on Christmas
It's
Day.
extremely bleak when you fail it, and it's like, oh, I should have worked harder to get. But I think it's you have to get excess wood or something. Otherwise, your options are we can't afford it, or of course we can afford it. And then there's some people in the camp that are going, we're wasting supplies for this, and this, and your response is basically anything that creates hope is not a waste.
See, that's nice. That's a really good message to end the stream on. Well,
it is.
Anything that inspires hope is not a waste. Yeah, no, I was playing some of the DLC earlier, and the one that focuses on Winterhome is really tough.
That one's depressing.
Really, really depressing, but also is like really hard to actually do. And there's a horrible bit that I had to play through it twice because the first time I didn't do so well, and there's a really bad bit where you have to sacrifice resources to prepare for an evacuation, and that takes away from the living conditions of where you currently are, while also trying to repair the heat generator that gives you all heat. And there's a bit where if you don't have a factory, you can't produce prosthetics for amputees, and if you don't do that, then the amputees can't evacuate. And it did not sit right with me. I was like, I am not ending it on that. I am going back and I'm saving everyone. There's not. It's horrible. So like, I kept
Especially
my factory up.
Especially when it's the children amputees.
Oh yeah,
That's, you know, oh, you've got X amount of days to make so many things for children amputees. Otherwise, they get left behind, and you're like, oh god, no.
Yeah, it's a really tough game actually. So I'd like to trust you, Sean. I imagine that's quite a big. I think we just made a really big decision again, Joy.
We did.
It's probably the worst one, but.
You know the hunger will never be satisfied.
I've come to embrace the everlasting craving.
Oh dear.
I have sworn to feed only upon the flesh of the dead. It is now my sacrament.
Great.
Take, eat. This is my body.
Do you?
So saith the Lord.
Do you think that's maybe what's causing the whole thing?
I think it might be. My
shit. Are you supposed to heal him?
No, you can't heal him. Turning him is the only way to get the good outcome from this one.
Yeah,
because it
you
makes
need
him
to.
into your thrall.
Yeah, you need to turn him. Yeah, you don't. Oh, great. Okay, so it's interesting that you sacrifice 500 XP in the process. Okay, let's turn him.
Vampire blood would
your first bite.
And it's a guy that looks very, very ill.
Some of mine.
I'd rather not. It would be extremely awkward.
Ah, you'd like it a little bit.
Sean, it's the only way to protect your
Just a nibble.
who is still amongst the living.
As a treat.
No, Dr. Reed. God made me this way. Who am I to disobey his will?
You believe that God's plan was for you to be abandoned at birth?
The Lord works in mysterious ways.
I can't imagine God intended for you to be molested by a priest in an orphanage. Drink, friend.
No.
I said kneel and drink. Now.
Definitely getting a lot of sex vibes here.
Yes, there's a lot of not a lot, but there is fanfic of this point. So just so you're aware, if anyone's interested, I did not write it.
Rule 34, go hard. Oh, he's enjoying that a bit too much. Okay, that's plenty. Cut him off. Oh, I just got an achievement called Sacrificial Lamb. Also got an increased mesmerize level, so I have new citizens to kill, if I so wish. Although we've not really killed anyone yet, which is...
Another
Oh.
corpse thrown in the streets. Someone's playing a very sick.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fight my sister in this stream because it is a big risk. I like how we're gonna steal this guy's wallet. Just yoink. That's my wallet now. Bye. Alrighty, folks, and I think with that, I'm gonna just briefly put it back to just chatting, but that is us finished our stream for this evening. Hope you all had a good time. Joy, of course, it's always a pleasure to have you on these streams.
Thank you, I enjoyed myself.
I'm going to drop a couple of links for those of you who are maybe interested. We do have a Discord, so you're all more than welcome to join that. Has a really nice community in there. We talk about a wide range of things. You get notified of streams and all the rest of it. So there's all that good stuff crammed in there. I will also put up my YouTube as well. So there's a link to my YouTube. One of my videos, the Ancestors one, just reached 20,000 views, which was quite nice. So if you want to hear about a game that involves monkeys having sex and swinging through trees, then there's definitely a YouTube video for you there. And of course, I follow Joy on Tumblr, and I'm quite a frequenter of Tumblr for my sins. I'm also on Twitter as well if you want to check that, but I know that maybe not a lot of you are. So there's the links. And with that, I will wrap up my stream because I'm going to go and read some more Hunger Pangs. So everyone go and grab a copy of Hunger Pangs if you haven't already. And I will see you on Tuesday where we're going to be continuing Blasphemous. So if you like...
That's been fun to watch.
If you like Catholicism and you like hard 2D platformer games, then you're more than welcome to join for that. So I'll see you in a bit, folks. Goodbye.
Bye all.
See you later.